Montana's Bob Stitt is making his first appearance as an FCS head coach as his team continues the tournament tradition expected here in Missoula. While longtime South Dakota State coach Stig brings his squad to their 5th FCS appearance on his watch. The Grizz are home in the cold as they face the Jackrabbits next on ESPN3. Welcome to the 2015 NCAA Division I Football Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. Today, a first-round matchup as South Dakota State takes on the Grizzlies of Montana. Our FCS bracket looks this way. First round play, the winner here will get a rematch as they'll take on the 4-time defending FCS champs North Dakota State in Fargo next weekend. Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Bender alongside the former NFL defensive back Jay Taylor. Glad you're with us. 2 FCS playoff fixtures here. 4 straight trips to the playoffs for the Jackrabbits. 17 straight for Montana. And either team capable of winning the whole thing.
Yeah, they both play in 2 of the toughest divisions in the FCS. They're tested. They know how to win on the road and home. And both of them want to see who's going to be the best one today.
South Dakota State is led by 2 quarterbacks with different skill sets, Zach Lujan and Taryn Christian.
Yeah, Lujan is the junior leader on the team. Everybody gets behind him when he's on the field. 14 touchdowns and just 6 interceptions. But when he got hurt, Christian, the rookie, or the freshman, had to step in and make big plays. He did that against Illinois State, leading them to a victory.
On the other side, Tyrone Holmes, the defensive end, could be FCS Defensive Player of the Year.
He sure can. 14 sacks, 7 quarterback hurries. He knows how to put pressure. If this defense is going to be successful today, he's going to have to spend a lot of time in the backfield.
The road to Frisco, Texas starts here. 2 schools familiar with postseason play. South Dakota State, Montana. Kick it next from Missoula. Welcome back to Missoula as the Jackrabbits and the Grizz get set for battle here in postseason play. As expected, a cool day here in Montana, 16 degrees. It doesn't bother the fans here of Grizz Nation as it has been colder in years past. Sunny skies, not as windy as some other playoff games they've had, and a great crowd, great support here for this team in Missoula, Montana. Big Sky against the Missouri Valley Football Conference, 2 of the top conferences in America. Montana's going to get the football first as Jay Carlson, the 5th-year senior from Parkville, Missouri, has it teed up for South Dakota State. Ellis Henderson and John Wynn, the deep men for Montana. Both these teams with excellent seasons. South Dakota State 3rd place in the Missouri Valley. A tie for 2nd place in the Big Sky for Montana, and we are ready for football. Underway from Washington Grizzly Stadium, it'll be Henderson at the 4-yard line for Montana. And the number 7 who doubles as their wide receiver out to the 21 as the tackle was made by Alex Romanesco. Montana has had Brady Gustafson at the helm most of this season. 6 starts. He was injured, broke his leg in week 3, came back. It's like they didn't miss a beat, and he has been sensational. Over 50 points scored the last 2 weeks.
And Coach,
he is a guy from Billings, Montana, a junior, and a big frame at 6'7". You can see the numbers. McKenna Simas filled in relief for Gustafson, and this is a wide open offense, single back, and they'll run it on 1st down on the left side on the carry. It's Wynn, and he's tripped up at the 28-yard line. Wynn, a junior from Bellevue, Washington. Shane Gutlob on the tackle. And there's some up-tempo with this team. They want to keep you on your heels.
And they want to establish the run, as you're seeing right now. They said it's very important. Coach just said that we got to get our run game going. When you look at Wynn, he's a small guy, 5'7", 180, so he can hide behind that big line and dart out when the defense can't see him.
They want to go as fast as possible, according to their coach, without rushing things. When we execute, it rolls. They'd like to get 90 plays per game. On 3rd and short, Gustafson looking to throw it. It's tipped and incomplete. Good pressure up the middle intended for Henderson, and because of the tip, no pass interference. Bloom was coming from the end spot.
Sure did. Got his hand up, got his knocked down. As you can see from the left side of your screen, right there in the position. Bloom jumps up, gets that hand up. Might have been Lally as well there. Got that deflection, get them off the field because this offense is very explosive.
Good defensive effort on the first series. 9th rated in FCS, allowing just 16.7 points per game, South Dakota State. And they force a quick 3 and out as Chris Leiter back to punt it. Left-footed boot. And it's going to hit at the 40, take a Montana hop inside the 30, and it dies at the 29-yard line. And here comes a late flag from the side judge after the punt was down.
That's one where the defender comes up and the punt returner's thinking he might try to scoop the ball up, and he gets hit, so I'm wondering if that's what they're calling the flag for. But normally the ball starts to hit the ground, but we'll see what they're going to do. That's what it looked like because the flag came after that happened.
Pat Garvey, our lead referee here, and that was called on Connor Strom, the sophomore from Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, he came in there and just took a free shot on the returner. Even though he wasn't going to get the ball, that's why you get that. And that's the kind of stuff that you want to avoid. You don't want costly penalties helping a South Dakota State offense start from the middle of the field instead of more pinned back.
We talked about the quarterbacks in the open. Lujan, the junior, the veteran, but Taryn Christian, the freshman from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, has been very good, especially with his legs this year.
True freshman. They both have different attributes. He is a better scrambler, a little bit better runner, but he's very mature. The coaches said he absorbs everything that they give to him. They haven't had to dumb anything down.
FCS Freshman of the Year candidate will hand it off, and a flag is thrown. They're going to whistle this play dead. A couple flags littering the field.
False start. Offense, 61. 5-yard penalty.
That's Dylan Sider, the left guard.
Right now for South Dakota State, they just got to handle the crowd. Just keep themselves under control a little bit. Got a false start. You got a true freshman starting his first playoff game. You want to do some basics. Running the ball. Look for Margarini to get this play right now.
We're going to go with trips to the right side. Jake Winicky, one of the top receivers in college football, in motion, and they'll run it on 1st and 15 as they give it to Brady Mengarelli, the sophomore, and he shut down after a short game Kendrick Van Acker, the all-Big Sky linebacker, on the stop.
And that's what you want. A positive. If they didn't get the penalty, that gives you 5 yards, 4 to 5 yards on first down. When you can do that as an offense, it opens it up. Now you're 2nd and long. You just got to be smart. You mentioned the freshman handling the environment was the #1 key from Coach Stig coming into this one.
On 2nd and 11, and another penalty flag, and again movement up front.
These are one of the things Coach Stigler did not want to have happen. Wanted to make sure they didn't have silly penalties. And this right now is silly penalties. 2 false starts on your opening drive. You got to be more prepared and understand, hey, hold the count. The crowd's going to be loud.
They have played in some big environments. They've beaten some of the top teams in the country, including Illinois State at home, but this is one of the top environments at the FCS level. 2nd down, 16. Christian out of the backfield. Mengarelli the grab. Makes a man miss. Fumbles the football at the 45. And the Grizz look like they have it. They do. Jeremy Kosei in the bottom of the pile hops on it at the 46-yard line.
You're going to see a simple flare route. They have the numbers. Mangarelli goes in. Great hit right there. You see as he gets hit, he's being pulled down by Yemen Sanders, the safety. And as he's being pulled on that arm, then he gets hit. And that's what knocks the ball out. Great play by the defense. Putting that ball down there, getting a turnover on the opposite side of the field. That's what you want to start the game with.
They have 14 fumble recoveries this season. Their second series will start from the Jackrabbits' 46-yard line. 4 receivers, single running back. Gustafson will hand it off to Wynn straight ahead, and he is met head on. Nice play by Landon Schultz, the senior end. Let's take a look at the Northwestern Mutual planning for success. South Dakota State, Montana.
Yeah, we talked about it. Handle the environment, the crowd noise, which they're having a little problems with. False starts, but Grizz right there, running, establishing run. That's what they're trying to do right now.
Gustafson on 2nd and 9. Win with the catch, but a short gain, maybe a yard. Down to the 44-yard line, Dallas Brown on the coverage. So look at those keys again here at the outset here. Grizz and Jackrabbits.
And you can see defense not put in bad situations. They like to play from ahead. That's what the Grizz are trying to do right now. Get that fast start, put that pressure on the defense. We'll see if South Dakota State can handle the pressure.
And you can see the up-tempo on 3rd and long. Dumped out of the backfield, win the catch, but tackled right away at the 40-yard line by Dallas Brown. That's why this team is so good defensively. They'll make the sure tackle in the open field.
And that's what you got to have. Dallas Brown, 5'11", 195. So he's physically suited to handle Win and to follow him around the field. These linebackers are very active. Bobbitt and Lally are the 2 leading tacklers, and you can see why. These linebackers know how to line up, cover, and tackle in space.
It's Jerian Butler standing back on the South Dakota State 10, awaiting the punt from Chris Leiter. 5th-year senior from Bellevue, Washington, will try to pin him deep. Hangs up a beauty. Everyone runs away from it, and that one will take a hop. And was it kept in the field of play? It was. It's the ball. It's not the man. And the Grizz do a great job, and they kill it inside the 5. Now they're going to call it a touchback. He was in the end zone. It is the ball, but in this case, it had carried on through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Great effort.
Yeah, he needed to establish himself back into the field and then jump up and get the ball. But because he was staying in the end zone, that's why they called that a touchback. If he would have came back out, they would have had the ball on the 3.
Bob Stitt, first-year FCS head coach, 15 years at the Division II level with success. Almost got a brilliant play on special teams here on this punt.
Yeah, you're going to see as the defender on the top of your screen, he goes into the end zone. Now, if he comes back to establish himself in the field, then that would have been an okay play. But because he was still in the end zone as he created that act, that's why it was a touchback.
So the ball at the 20-yard line for the Jackrabbits, their second series. They fumbled on their first series near midfield. Mangarelli on the right side, working for a couple yards up to the 22. Yaman Sanders, junior from Inglewood, California, the strong safety on the stop. Here's Derek Crittenden, one of the great student athletes in college football, number 47. Was a finalist for the Rhodes Scholarship, missed the Montana State game, but he is ready to go here in postseason play because he had the interview for that Rhodes Scholarship, wasn't active in their last game. 2nd and 8. The keeper. There's some athletic ability shown by Christian. He makes something out of nothing up to the 24. It'll be 3rd and 6 coming up.
And this front 7 for the Grizz, they really like to bring pressure. They're very active in what they do. So when you have a quarterback that can run, it makes the defense have to think a little more because that quarterback is not going to be sitting back in the pocket like Lujan would be.
Active set of linebackers, as you saw Van Akron, Kosei up the middle there. 3rd down and 6 from the 24-yard line for the Jackrabbits. Pressure coming. It's a screen pass, caught, and taking it close to the first down is Mangarelli. Let's see where they spotted. He needed the 30. Van Akron and Strom double teaming on the tackle.
Looks like the official wants to give it to him. That was a great play by Mangarelli, cutting back, putting his head down, getting that tough yardage. He got hit by 3 Grizzly players and still was able to get that first down.
So they move the chains, and that's got to give the freshman some confidence. His career best game was the victory against Illinois State. Threw for 307, rushed for 65, and he gets first down here. They're now at the 30-yard line.
Watch for Wiki on the bottom of the screen, one-on-one.
They rush 4. Christian to the near side. Catch is made by the tight end. It's hauled in there by Reese Carlson, and he has a first down up to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, you're going to see is this nice little corner post route. You look at the tight end, Cam Jones does the out route. Nice grab. They got big tight end receivers, 6'5", 250 for Cam Jones there. And these tight ends are very active in the passing game.
Jones, a 5th-year senior with his 22nd catch, first down at the 41. Mangarelli shut down. at the point of attack, as that was Caleb Kidder, first team All Big Sky. He's been given the honor of wearing number 37. A Montana-born player passing it to a Montana-born player, and that's a big number to wear.
And you can see right there, Tyrone Holmes with what he's done with the sacks. But Van Akron, 125. These linebackers in this front seven, they know how to get after the running game and the quarterback.
Loss of a couple. 3 receivers, 2 to the left this time for the Jackrabbits. They'll run it to the short side of the field. On the carry, it's Kyle Paris, and he's across the 45-yard line. Jeremy Kosei on the tackle. Now they're still in a 3rd down, and they need 6.
Kosei coming in, filling that. This defense is making you work for everything that you have. If I'm South Dakota State, I got myself in 3rd and 6. I take advantage of what's got me here. You got Winwinkie, an All-American receiver at 6'4", or I would also think of Goddard, number 86, or tight end. These guys know how to get open and find that ball.
Goddard is split out, the tight end, top of the screen in the slot. Christian looking his way. Goddard has it, holds on. 1st down at the Montana 42-yard line, and that was a strike from the freshman.
They like what they can do with their tight ends. They feel their tight ends can match up and be a mismatch for opposing teams. The linebackers can't run with them, and the safeties are too small. You can see right there, he just gets in front of Whitehead, walls him off, makes a nice, easy target for the freshman, and gets the catch.
They love Goddard as a route runner and a big target, as you can see. 1st down at the 42. Fake to Paris. Christian on the keeper, and he's met by 3 maroon jerseys after a yard pickup to the 41-yard line. Kosei was in there, and he got a lot of help.
That's something just to keep the defense off. His defense is doing a good job, though. If you only give up a yard on 1st down, that's an advantage to the defense. But as South Dakota State keep running these plays, they're giving the defense something to think about. So you have to think about a running quarterback. That's going to open up other things as the game progresses.
Kyle Davis did a good job bottling things up there. 2nd down from the 40. Christian out of the backfield, spots his tight end. And this is Jones, and he's down to the 37-yard line. And a 3rd down coming up again. Justin Whitted, the 5th-year senior free safety on the tackle.
Jones and Goddard are the 2 and 3 receiver catchings on this team. When you're looking at Winkie, he's a leader at 60-odd catches. The next 2 guys are the tight ends.
You can see what they've done on 3rd downs. And this will be a 3rd and 5, intermediate, down and distance from the 38-yard line. Winnicke split bottom of the screen. He's their top target. Zipped over the middle, incomplete. Goddard was nearest to the football. They weren't on the same page on that one.
Clearly was not on the same page. Christian saw something in the defense, wanted to get the ball out quickly, but at that point right there, Goddard didn't get his head up, didn't see it, incomplete.
Now it is 4th down, and the Jackrabbits look like they want to go for it.
I would act like I'm going for it, make the defense think about it, and pooch kick it with my quarterback.
5 of 12 this year. Christian gives you some options if you can get him on the edge, running or passing.
He definitely does, but I would definitely use it as a ruse. I would do a pooch punch, and that's what the coach could be doing right now. You don't want to give a chance for this team, this defense, to make a play and get a turnover, because now Montana would start close to the 50-yard line.
And they have changed their mind here. They have brought out the punting team. That's that kind of no man's land there at the 38-yard line. Tough decision to make.
Right, and so you go for the penalty, give your punter 5 more yards if you want to take it, but you're seeing Montana chooses not to take it.
So 4th down, and Brady Hale will try to pin him deep. Freshman from Yankton, South Dakota. End over end. John Wynn will let it hit at the 10, takes a bounce towards the end zone, and it's a touchback. And the Grizzlies will have it at the 20-yard line. No score. 1st quarter, Missoula, Montana. 2 teams familiar with postseason play. And nothing on the board so far from Washington Grizzly Stadium. Welcome back to Missoula, Montana. First round play, FCS playoffs. The second round of the FCS continues next weekend on ESPN3. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Jay, we will be in Fargo for the Bison, who will take on the winner of this one.
Yeah, and it'll be a good matchup. All three of these teams have played each other.
Brady Gustafson will hand it off on first down, and it's Jeremy Calhoun across the 25 to the 27-yard line for 7 yards. He's a power guy, a freshman from Long Beach, California.
True freshman, likes to just run north and south downhill. As you can see, very explosive, second and short, advantage for the offense.
And they'll go to the run game again with Calhoun, trying to churn out a couple more yards, and not much available that time. He'll be short of the first down. The 29, Nick Mears, the strong safety on the tackle for the Jackrabbits. You can see the up-tempo, though.
Yep, and this offense is very good about taking what you give them. If you're going to try to stop the pass, they're going to run the ball. Look for a run again.
On third and short, Gustafson will throw it to the sidelines, and incomplete, intended for Jamal Jones. That was a little bit in front of him. Coverage applied by Jerian Butler.
You can see Butler doing a good job. That ball's thrown inside. The receiver kind of stops the route shorter than where it should be. And because that, an easy breakup for Butler.
So another quick 3 and out for the Montana offense. And Leiter will punt it away. Butler, after making that play, stands back at the 29 for South Dakota State. Good kick from Leiter, hangs it up there, fair catch called for, and it hits the helmet, and the ball's free, but the Jackrabbits get it back. They get a lucky break and recover it off the deflection. Isaac Wallace was there, and they keep it at the 41.
And that's because of the sun in the face of the punt returner, and it makes it tough sometimes to spot the ball. And you can see right there, he just misjudged it with a little bit of wind. Fortunate for him, his teammates there to jump on the ball.
We're scoreless in Missoula. Bob Stitt, Montana's coach, dreamed of coaching in this environment for many years. Passion for Grizz football, he says 365 days a year. You can see what he's done in his first year and hoping to get them to the second round. The Tecumseh, Nebraska product, and John Stiegelmeier winning his coaching school history, and he's number 4 all-time with 42 wins in Missouri Valley Football Conference. His team almost had a turnover on that punt, but they keep possession. They'll start this series from the 41. And Christian is blown up. That was Nate Harris, the corner that was in there, and made a great play.
Montana starting to dial up some pressure. You got a corner blitz coming from the top of your screen as they're trying to do the option run. Comes in and blows up the quarterback, does a good job. Would like to see him wrap up and not just coming in with a forearm shimmy, but a great first down play for the Missoula defense.
3-yard loss. There you see Harris, third-team All-Big Sky, 3-year starter. The noisemakers are out here at Washington Grizzly Stadium. They'll run it with Paris. He gets some of that yardage back and more. Up to the 43. It'll set up a 3rd and 8. Caleb Kidder, the defensive tackle, on the stop.
Right now, when Winky's been kind of quiet, haven't gotten the ball to him, he got 3rd and long. You know it's going to be a pass situation. Look for Winky or Goddard to get this ball. Favorable matchup if this defense goes man-to-man and decides to bring pressure against the freshman quarterback.
Montana has 38 sacks. They're 4th in the FCS in this category. Let's see if they're coming here on 3rd and 9. They're rushing 3. They get after Christian, and he throws it away. Tyrone Holmes, he may be the best pass rusher in college football at the FCS level. He was all over him on that one.
And you can see that defense, nobody had their head down. The offensive line didn't know who was coming from where. And there he is, the superstar Holmes. Watch him. See him, they're all moving around. They don't know where he's coming. And then all of a sudden, you got him, I got him, nobody got him. You let that pass rusher in free like that, those screen plays don't have a time to develop because he is just too quick and too good.
A difference maker, especially on 3rd downs. Hale, the freshman, will get the punt away with a rush on from the 32. It's a wobbler, hits at the 33. Wind stays away from it. It'll take a Jackrabbits hop and finally die at the 22-yard line. So nothing on the board here. A lot has been talked about with the Jackrabbits defense. They have stepped up their play. and it's not easy slowing down a high-octane Montana attack. Let's flash back. Last season, South Dakota State making it past the first round, but they got the three-time defending champs North Dakota State after spotting a 14-0 lead. Zach Zenner scoring the second of his 2 rushing touchdowns to tie the game near the end of the first half. Then late in the fourth quarter, Austin Summer capping off a 65-yard drive. Then Carson Wentz with a big play, and South Dakota State falls to North Dakota State as Montana goes to the air on first down. And they overshoot Jamal Jones with that one.
Sure did. Just trying to hit him on a bomb route. Jamal Jones, their big receiver threat. He's been quiet today as well. But these outside receivers won't be quiet long. They're eventually going to get the ball. Coach tell them, Cam always comes back and says, hey, coach, this play will work.
2nd and 10 from the 22-yard line. Play fake this time. Gustafson over the middle. Great catch made for a first down. It's hauled in by Josh Horner, the sophomore. Dallas Brown on the tackle.
You're going to see a nice little dig route by the tight end, comes across, gets in front of the linebacker. Linebacker's in good position, but sometimes you just can't make the play.
Horner's 15th catch of the season. Again, a play fake. Gustafson to the far sideline, and a diving attempt and a catch made. Going high in the air to grab that one was Ben Roberts for an 8-yard pickup.
You can see Ben Roberts goes up there to get that ball. They're having success. They started out trying to run up the middle. Wasn't working too well, so now they're going to the air.
When you can see this up-tempo, they are really ramping it up now. This time they swing it out of the backfield. Catch made by Roberts again. Makes a man miss. He's inside the 30 and out of bounds at the Jackrabbits' 26-yard line. Nick Farina, the free safety, finally got him.
Uncharacteristic missed tackles, open field, strong safety. Nick Mayers misses him, allows that big gain. Now you're going to see this fast tempo. Look for a run with Wynn coming into the game.
They waste little time getting to the line of scrimmage from the 26 now. Wynn straight ahead, and he's down to the 20. And you can see the momentum picking up, Jay. This is where they can really put you on your heels. Bloom on the tackle.
It sure is, and you're going to see they look to the sideline. Quarterback's coming up. They're making a change. I would think they're probably going to do another run because they got the defense flexed out. They like what they like in the box.
Trips to the right side this time. Again, play action. Gustafson has some time. He has some room to roam. Gustafson to the 10. And he's out of bounds, and we'll have a first and goal at the Jackrabbit 7-yard line.
Not known for running as much. He's 6'7". You can see as he lumbers along, nobody around, taking those huge strides, does a smart thing, though. Gets out of bounds because he started out well with the team. He got injured. They'd like to keep him in.
Junior from Billings, Montana, has him on the march, looking for the first score. It's Calhoun, runs into his own man, leaning forward inside the 5, and they stack him up there. It'll be a 2nd and goal inside the 4-yard line.
Running game was a little bit stagnant for him, wasn't getting much, but you see how quickly they attack with the passing. They get downfield quickly in a hurry, put a lot of pressure on the defense.
You can see the red zone numbers for Montana, but South Dakota State, that's one of their specialties. They're very good with red zone defense. 2nd and goal from the 4. Gustafson, slant pattern, caught for the touchdown. Hauled in by Jamal Jones.
You're going to see Dallas Brown lined up on Jamal Jones. That's the linebacker, and then he just gets faked out right there. Nice little outside in route, and he gets beat. He has to know where his help is. He doesn't use it, but that's the tough part when you're a linebacker trying to cover a receiver, especially a receiver like Jamal Jones.
10th touchdown catch of the year for Jones, the 5th-year senior from Spanaway, Washington, and the extra point from Daniel Sullivan makes it 7-0 Montana. They waste little time moving the football down the field, and they did it mostly with the passing game.
Yeah, they're doing exactly how they want to. Fast start. You can see he looks around, 6'7", able to survey the field. That's a situation where the linebacker needs to know, I need to force this guy outside. And because he didn't do that, seemed a little hole there. But again, that's tough on a linebacker covering a receiver of Jamal Jones' talent.
Jones, first team All-Big Sky, 3-year starter, and 6th in the FCS in yards receiving, over 1,000 this year. Bob Stitt has a lot of weapons, and he brings a style of play here that's a little bit different from what they've had in the past in terms of they're throwing it a lot more. There you see that 78-yard drive.
They do, and it was funny, he told us on the call, even though they seem to be throwing a lot. When they broke down their plays, they've only thrown the ball 10 more times than they ran it through the course of the season. And that's because, as a good team does, you take whatever the defense is going to give you. If they're forcing you to throw, you throw that game. If they're open up the run, you run that game. So they've had this balance back and forth. But one thing he likes is when they score first and they get a lead, they like to put that type of pressure on the opposing team. Playing from ahead is one of the things they do most successfully.
Kicking it away is Leiter. It is a short kick, fielded at the 15-yard line, and up to the 27 is Trevor Wesley, and the Jackrabbits will start from the 29-yard line. South Dakota State coming off a disappointing regular season finale, a 2-overtime loss at Western Illinois. They had major travel difficulties in that game, a 10-hour delay at an airport, bus problems, and that really kind of set them back. But they also didn't make plays in that game they thought they should have made.
Right, and not only not making plays, the key thing was turnovers. And one instrumental was on the 2-yard line going in to score. They fumble. Western Illinois gets the recovered fumble, takes it back all the way for a touchdown. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the game.
It's their third straight Big Sky opponent. You saw what they've done the last 2 years, hoping to duplicate that success from the 29. They'll run it on the right side. On the carry, it's Paris, and he bangs heads with Whitted and goes down at the 37-yard line. 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, and this offense is still finding itself. It had a very tough start. Again, you're going with the true freshman and Christian, and doing so, it's taken a little bit, but this is how they're going to have to get back in this game. They have to run the ball against this front seven. If they are not able to do that, it's going to be tougher to get the passing game going.
And this has been a resilient bunch. They say they've put that last game behind them. They have a great spirit. The program's built high expectations the last few years. On second and short, it's Paris banging straight ahead and close to a first down at the 39-yard line. Kendrick Van Akkeren on the tackle.
That plays very effective for this team. Big offensive line, hat on a hat, but you got running backs that don't dance around a lot. They are north and south runners, very quick. When you look at Brady, number 44, or even Kylie Paris, these guys are two different styles in what they do, but the one thing that's consistent is their north and south and how they get it done.
And they're going to show a different look here on first down. Empty backfield for Christian, 4 receivers. They put Paris out there as a wide receiver, top of the screen. Kosei coming on the blitz. Christian rolling away from pressure. He's going to run with it. This is where he's at his best, and he's out of bounds at the 47, a 7-yard pickup.
I'd like to see him put that ball away a little bit there, but that was a good choice by the freshman. Take what the defense gives you. If that lane is wide open, you keep running. You can see reads nothing to the left, comes back to the right, tuck the ball away, gets out of bounds. That's important. He understands the quarterback situation. He needs to make sure he stays on the field.
Jay, he can run. He was the anchor on the state championship relay team in the 100 and 200 meters, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. One score, a touchdown pass for Montana. The difference through one quarter here at Washington Grizzly Stadium. Big Sky against Missouri Valley Football Conference, 7-0 Grizz. Second quarter coming up. You're watching the 2015 NCAA Division I Football Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. Start of the second quarter as you look at the top part of the FCS bracket. First round play, the number 1 overall seed Jacksonville State. They scared Auburn this year. They're a team to watch out for. And Southern Utah, the Big Sky champs, involved in a game with Sam Houston State this afternoon. On second down and short to start the second quarter, South Dakota State will run the football. They give it to Kyle Paris, and he's just shy of the first down at the 48-yard line. Derek Crittenden on the stop for the Grizz.
Great job by the Montana State defense on that side, pushing the offensive line back, making it a tough grind for him to even get to where he got to. This front seven is very aggressive, very strong, and they like to play on your side of the ball.
3rd and 1. Harris remains in as a running back. He's a physical downhill guy to the left of Christian. He'll get the carry. Paris hit. Second effort. I don't know. He's close at the 49. He somehow escaped a couple players. Crittenden and Kidder were both in there. Kidder got a piece of him. It's close at the 49.
They might have to bring it on out just to double check. I know Coach Stitz put his hand up like 4th down, saying, I don't think they got it.
He's lobbying over there.
He's definitely lobbying. But they're going to have to measure this. It's going to be close. It might be one of those choices. If it's that close, do you go for it?
He is short by that much.
That much. If I'm South Dakota State, I line up quickly and use my quarterback, their freshman, Tyron Christian, and just go get it. At this point, you got that much. If it's that close, you go get it.
Big play early second quarter. Montana gets a stop. They'll have it in excellent field position. And they're going to go double tight ends here.
I would definitely do that. I mean, your defense is playing well. They gave up that 1 touchdown, but at this point, I'd go for it. Good timeout call. Make sure you got everything lined up if you're going to do it.
Jackrabbits will talk it over using their first timeout. As we open up this second quarter, it'll be 4th down and inches for South Dakota State. 7-0, Montana leads it. The Jackrabbits trailing 7-0 to Montana, looking at a 4th and inches. They'll go for it from their own 49-yard line after the timeout. Christian straight ahead. And he moves the pile forward near midfield and has the first down. Nothing fancy there. 6'2", 200 freshman gets it done.
Yeah, and that's an automatic play in my playbook. I mean, the only time you wouldn't do that if you're back on your 30 or 20, but you're at the 50, and we're talking 6 inches. You got to do it. I mean, if you can't get that, then you shouldn't be playing. That's something you got to be able to do.
He had a couple Wisconsin kids in front of him leading the way. Dylan Sider, the left guard, Jacob Onasorgi, the center, and it's enough to move the chains. First down at the 50.
I'd like to see a pass play. You're on this side of the field, and I'd like Winky on the bottom. Looks like it's man-to-man coverage.
Christian, down the middle, Winicky. Can't come up with it. Good coverage by Nate Harris. He was with him step for step at the 15.
I like the call. I wish he would have stayed outside instead of going inside, but you're going to see quarterback faked the wrong way, but he puts the ball up. That's a play that's better outside. You got to put the ball out there a little more. Winicky had his defender beat. He has a knack for big plays. This kid is averaging 20.4 a touch when he gets the ball.
Number 19, who will line up top of the screen here on a 2nd and 10. All-American candidate split out. Christian, pressured, runs away from it, throws on the run, and a diving attempt and a catch made by Matt Raymond at the 45-yard line. He had to go low to get it. Nice play.
Sure did. Christian did a good job of using his legs, getting out of the pocket, not allowing Holmes to get that pressure on him, because the Holmes was coming up there to get outside, extend the play. This is one of the things he brings to the offense. And it's tough on the defense because he's not going to sit still in the back where you expect him to be.
3rd and 4. And Christian is a threat to run out of trouble.
Look for pressure coming.
They're going to rush 4. Christian looking to the sideline, and it's incomplete. He wanted Winicky. J.R. Nelson was right with him, and it bounced off the shoulder pad. 4th down.
Big corner. He's 6'2", going against 6'4" receiver up top. You can see he does a quick jam on him, gets him off kilter, and he just fights for the ball. And that's what you want as a DB. You just got to get hands on him, alter him a little bit, and then try to redirect the ball. Good play by the defender on that game.
So Brady Hale will try to pin them deep here. Wynn standing back at the Grizzlies' 10-yard line. Hale with a low kick. It's hits at the 20, and Wynn runs away from it, and it'll be down inside the 13-yard line. 12:32 to go. Second quarter. A trip to the second round in Fargo, North Dakota on the line. Montana leads South Dakota State 7-0. Bob Stitz Grizz in front of South Dakota State 7-0. A touchdown pass in the first quarter has stood up so far. 31 FCS victories for Montana, number 2 all-time in that category. On first down, Gustafson to Ellis Henderson. And a nice gain across the 20. 9-yard pickup to the 22-yard line for the junior from Vancouver, Washington, 13 All Big Sky.
And that's a tough play, running across the field, defender chasing him in man-to-man coverage. You can see the pace pick up. Look for a run up the middle.
Gustafson will hand it off straight ahead. It's Wynn, makes a man miss across the 30. John Wynn across the 40 and out of bounds. He is not big at 5'7", 180, but a solid all-around quick back.
He hides behind that line. You can see, usually when they get a nice big pass play, they like to come back with a run up the middle, catch that defense sleeping, and they did exactly that for the big game.
First down at the 40-yard line, quickly to the line of scrimmage. Gustafson looking to the sideline, and it's incomplete, intended for Jamal Jones. It was interesting talking with Coach Stitt about this offense. They want 85 to 90 plays. They want to have 50 plays by halftime.
Yeah, and that's as we can see, I mean, they keep that tempo going. They want to put that pressure on the defense, so come the second half, your legs are tired, you're more exhausted, and you're not thinking straight.
You can see what they did on the last drive after struggling in the first three. On second down, Roberts with the catch, and he's up to the 46-yard line for 6 yards. Tackles made by Balster and Brown. They double-teamed on that one.
This is that third mid area. Watch as they got the trips on the top side. Might come the opposite way.
Play action. Gustafson steps up, delivers a strike for a first down. It's caught by Horner, and he's out of bounds at the Jackrabbits 30-yard line. They are really spreading the wealth around. Farina on the tackle. Horner, the sophomore.
That's what they did. Did trip to one side, brought Horner back across the field, pulled those linebackers up on the play fake, got the big run. Now look for a run up the middle again.
And they will go straight ahead with Calhoun, and he's upended at the 26-yard line. You sense that, don't you? They go to the perimeter and then hit you with a quick one up the middle on the run.
Right, because now that they got you flanked out, spread out, thinking about they're going to go wide again, then they want to get you quick up the middle because those linebackers are cheating out.
Calhoun checks off. Wynn back in at the running back spot on second down. They fake it to Wynn. Gustafson to the air. Henderson! Touchdown, Grizz!
What a play. You're going to see Gustafson reads the defense, sees the man-to-man coverage. Jordan Brown right there at the bottom of the screen. The receiver, Henderson, does a good job getting upfield, going at the highest point to catch the ball. The defender's never in position from the beginning of the play. They take advantage of it. Another quick scoring attack. Offense doing what they like to do. Get the lead, put pressure on the defense.
26-yard touchdown catch. Four-year starter from Vancouver, Washington makes it 13-0. Sullivan for the extra point. And it makes it 14-0. First Jones, then Ellis, Henderson, Gustafson with a couple touchdown passes.
Yeah, and you can see just a great play execution. The big quarterback putting the ball high and outside, and Henderson doing the rest. The Grizz getting it done so far, 14-0.
A couple long touchdown drives for Montana. Ellis Henderson capping off the last drive with a touchdown grab. 7 plays, 87 yards. And this is an offense that is really working on all cylinders the last 3 weeks.
It surely is. It catches you off guard. So it hits you with a quick strike, then they get to the huddle, try to hit you a quick strike again, and once you're confused, you can't sub guys in and out, then they try to go deep. And they've been successful at doing that. When they kind of came out and not gotten that big run, the success has come by passing first, then running.
Out of the end zone on the return, up the gut is Wesley, and a nice return to the 29-yard line for South Dakota State. And they'll start out at the 29 on this series. The Jackrabbits, Taryn Christian now trailing 14-0. You don't want to deviate from your game plan, and that's mixing run and pass.
Yeah, and that's the tough part. Yeah. He's played well for him. He stepped in when Lujan's gotten hurt, has helped them got some victories, especially against Illinois State. But he struggled today. They had a tough start, you know, with the false starts and things kind of put him behind. It's a lot to ask of a true freshman on the road in this type of situation. But they feel if anybody can get it done, it's him.
From the 29, Hand off to Isaac Wallace, testing the right side, and not much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Jeremiah Kosei on the tackle. Wallace had 118 yards on the ground in their victory at Kansas to open up the year.
And I would stick with running on first or second down, but switch up a little bit. But the big thing is I would start to get it out to the outside receivers, to the tight ends, the guys that can make plays like Winicky and Goddard. These guys know how to catch the ball deep. And I think you got to loosen this defense up a little bit to help the run. 2nd
and 10. This time they put Goddard out, split out, top of the screen. Looking to the other side, the throw by Christian on the money. Catch made by Winicky, and he's tackled at the 37-yard line by Nate Harris. Winicky's a guy that can change the course of this game, All-America candidate.
He sure can. You're looking at a guy, 11 touchdowns, along with 74, averaging 20.4 a catch. He just knows how to get it done. And I think as this game progresses, we're going to have to find more and more ways of getting him the ball. Just put it up there and let him go battle it, because he's shown when the ball's in the air, he can bring it down.
An FCS Offensive Player of the Year candidate. 3rd and short now for the Jackrabbits. They'll run it straight ahead, and it's Wallace, and looks like he has a first down at the 40-yard line. Wallace, a redshirt freshman from Omaha, Nebraska, and he moves the chains.
And I think as this quarter continues, Taron Christian needs to do one thing in particular as I'm watching as the game progresses. He's kind of staring down where he wants to go with the ball. He needs to use his eyes. That's what Lujan brings to the offense. A little bit more experience. He's able to look off safeties and go through the 2nd and 3rd reads. Right now, he's kind of locked in on his first read. He has to open it up and see the 2nd and 3rd read.
Wallace, the 3rd running back they've used today. Play action fake to him this time. Christian over the middle, wants Winicky, and he overshoots some double coverage back there at the 25-yard line. Nelson and Sanders were with him.
Yeah, and that's a play that you got to be smart about. That whenever you're trying to throw across field, the backside corner or safety could be dropping in underneath, and you just don't know that. I watched him in warm-ups. He throws a good ball. The hard part is he doesn't put a lot of air on his ball sometimes, and that's the type of play that you would have to put air on it. You can't throw soap on a rope.
2nd and 10 at the 40. See the big guys up front. Taylor Bloom, 300-pound left guard, trying to protect the quarterback. Christian has some time. Near sideline, he wants Wesley. It's incomplete. And here comes a flag. Nate Harris was down there and some contact.
Yeah, that's going to be pass interference. DB got beat, didn't turn back for the ball. I thought they were actually going to throw it on the inside. Jamal Wilson, linebacker, also grabbed on the tight end Cam Jones as he came up the field. That's a simple pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11. Penalty will be accepted. Automatic first down.
Coach Stitt saying he'll put his cornerbacks on an island. Here's another example.
Yeah, and that's where South Dakota State's going to have to find their way back into this game. The DB does a good job at the beginning, but he gets beat right there. You can see when he grabs at him in panic, that's when the flag's going to happen. And that always goes down when you're beat. You can see you're beat, and now you throw the hands up. You're taught to, when you're beat, wait till he puts his hands up and then you do it. So he was just a step too early.
They mark off the penalty. First down for the 45. Christian rolling right away from pressure. Holmes giving chase. Throws on the run. That's out of bounds. That was Winicky. Caught it, but well out of bounds. It's 2nd and 10. Nelson was with him.
That's how they're going to have to get back in this. Get it to these guys. Stretch this defense out a little bit. Then come back to the run. You got to loosen them up in order to be a little bit more successful, because they've kind of hit a wall. They started out a little bit well. They got a couple of first downs, and then they end up getting off the field. This is a crucial drive. I think they need to make sure they at least get 3, if not 6.
3 receivers to the right. 2nd and 10. They set up the screen. It's caught by Andrews, and Brandon Andrews, a short gain, run out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Sets up a 3rd and about 6. It was Gamboa, Herbert Gamboa, the linebacker, on the play.
You would like 3rd and 5 as short as the offense, is a bit more manageable. But now you're 3rd and 6. That allows this Montana defense to pin their ears back, especially with Tyron Holmes coming into the game after taking a couple of plays off. That allows him to pin his ear back and really come after the quarterback. I like the no-back set. Force the defense to tell you if they're zone or man. Make the read that much easier for your quarterback.
5 receivers. They'll rush 3. Christian with the slant. It's caught. Jones has it for a first down. to the 34-yard line. The tight end with the grab, Markel Sanders, the redshirt freshman corner on the tackle.
Let's go over the size here. Cam, 6'5", 250. Goddard, 6'5", 245. When you have tight ends like that can move and cover out in space, get the ball to them. They're going to wall off the DB. That's a good job. Markel Sanders, he's 6'2" himself, but he doesn't have the weight. And when you have a big tight end in front, if they can wall you off, they're going to make that catch 9 out of 10 times.
The senior captain with a big play at the tight end spot. First down at the 33. They'll hand it off straight ahead. Wallace running high with a knees high down to the 26-yard line for a big gain. He exploded through the hole on that one.
He sure did. The defense is a little bit back on their heels now. You get a couple of nice pass plays. You keep the drive going. Now the defense is getting a little tired. You take advantage of it. You come back to the run, and I think this is good for South Dakota State. Stick with what's got you here. Balance of run pass and keep that defense guessing on what you're going to do.
7-yard pickup. Christian pressured. Down he goes at the 34. Tyrone Holmes, sack number 15. He's the FCS leader in that category, and he got him at the 34.
They caught them with the blitz. They brought the pressure. You're going to see Tyrone Holmes shifting down. Just swim move on that guard. Guard stood no chance. You see what I talk about, this guy being able to play at the next level. When you're an end that can go down on the front, it makes it tough because those guards don't know how to handle the spin moves and those types of things. This guy really has a knack to find that quarterback, forcing a 3rd and long.
They need 11. Christian rolling away from pressure. He's going to have to tuck it and get out of bounds. Nothing available. Great coverage from Montana. Now it's 4th down, and you're kind of in 4th down territory with the ball at the 34, even though you need 11.
Yeah, in this situation, I'd pin him back. I would, like I mentioned before, I'd line up, show you going for it, and do a pooch kick because you still have time. I mean, there's still the whole second half. You still have 6 minutes in the second quarter of the first half. Maybe your defense can come out and get some type of stop.
Too long for a field goal. Carlson's long is 47 this year. They'll go for it. 4th and 11. Pressure coming from the backside. Christian puts his head down. That's not even going to come up close to the first down. Back to the line of scrimmage. Jeremy Kosei closed the door, the middle linebacker.
Sure did. I don't really like that call. That's a situation. If you're going to go for it, you got to get to your playmakers and win a key or Goddard.
The Grizz defense has kept the door shut. 14-0 Montana. Two Brady Gustafson touchdown passes, one in the first quarter, one in the second quarter. The difference, Montana leading South Dakota State. First round play, FCS playoffs. Winner will get North Dakota State in Fargo next weekend. Grizz with the football at the 34 as they throw a screen pass into the hands of Ben Roberts. And Roberts, who's having a big first half, run out of bounds at the 40. A pickup of 7. Nick Mears, a strong safety on the tackle.
Yeah, Butler, the corner in that situation, tried to beat the receiver inside, and you can't do that. You got to keep contained. Makes it harder on the defense. That's why it was a big game.
And they're quickly up to the line of scrimmage, continuing up-tempo. They've been that all the way. A sideline pass is incomplete this time. Through the hands of Henderson, the intended receiver. Butler, the corner on the coverage.
Yeah.
Let's look at the numbers. He has heated up after being very slow out of the gate on the first 3 drives.
You know, Coach Stitt talked about this guy, just what they can do with this offense. When he's in it, it's just the book's wide open.
And here comes a blitz from the Jackrabbits. He spots the route underneath and completes it for a first down. The second effort from Josh Horner moves the sticks. Nick Farina and Chris Balster on the tackle.
Yeah, South Dakota State tried to bring a little pressure. You got a 6'7" quarterback. He can see over that, and he did a good job getting that ball out.
Horner and Roberts have been very good at the wide receiver spot here in the first half, and they'll run a little delay this time. Calhoun, and he gets to the Jackrabbit side of the field, a pickup of 4.
Right now you can see South Dakota State looks a little fluxed. They're trying to figure out what and how to slow this down. This defensive front, you can see they're having a hard time getting lined up.
Gustafson looking to throw on second down. To the sideline. Henderson got a foot down, and that's a first down grab to the 38-yard line.
Great catch. You can see Good pocket. He doesn't have to worry about much. He can just stand in there, zips that out. Great one-handed catch. Awareness of the sideline.
Now they'll get it on the ground with Calhoun, and he's stacked up after maybe a 2-yard pickup to the 36-yard line. The thing about Gustafson, Coach Stitt loves, he says everybody's level of play rises around him, and that's what they were missing when he was injured after that third game.
It sure was. You can see the run on the first down isn't as effective when they get the big pass play.
Here now, play action over the middle. And a first down grab by Horner again, and he's down to the Jackrabbits 22-yard line. Nick Farina on the tackle.
So that was a nice run play. They faked it, pulled the linebackers in. Now they got everybody up here flush. Look for them to try to do the same thing. They're looking at the matchup, something in the middle.
Changing it up at the line of scrimmage. Calhoun slanting right, and he's knocked down after a short gain to the 19, 3 yards on that carry. But again, that'll keep you honest as they continue to explore the middle on the run game. Bobbin on the tackle.
And they do, because they watch the linebacker. If the linebacker flex out over that tight end or slot, then they're saying, okay, we're going to run because they don't have enough people in the box.
2nd and 7. Gustafson has time, fires back of the end zone, and he overshoots his intended receiver. Roberts was down there. 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7, seen a lot of substitutions, trying to get some fresh bodies in there, try to get some pressure on the Gustafson, because he's just sitting back there picking lilies right now. The pressure's just not getting to him at all.
You see the total yardage numbers. Trying to score again. There's a slant pattern. It's caught for a first down. Inside the 10 is Josh Horner. Farina finally gets him, but it's good enough to move the chains. 1st and goal, Montana.
That was a good job by Farina stepping on that, and linebacker again coming in because the run fake opens up these quick releases. You can see how fast this offense moves, especially when they get down the red territory.
And they really have the Jackrabbits on their heels now. Gustafson, time over the middle, incomplete. He was getting some pressure up the gut that time at 2nd down.
That might be the first time they've actually got him on the ground, and with Bloom and Langer there getting some pressure on the inside. This defense, as well as they played throughout the season, the last few games they've struggled a little bit, and we're kind of seeing that continue on today, having a hard time getting off the field when they need to.
TJ Lally, they really need a stop here inside the red zone. Gustafson to throw it. It's deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Langer was in the middle of things there, again providing pressure. He is a 3rd-generation Jackrabbit. His dad, a Hall of Fame center with the Dolphins and Vikings, number 54.
Yeah, and you can see they're trying to do crossing routes, trying to pick these guys, but that front has to do their job. That makes it difficult. Get your hands up. Don't give that quarterback such a straight throw.
3rd and goal. Here comes pressure. Gustafson throws it high and incomplete. Intended for Jones. It's 4th down, and that was a much-needed stop for South Dakota State, and they got it.
It was. It's almost once they got into the red zone, things tightened up. They weren't able to get the freedom they had. You can see the receivers open at that point, but the quarterback takes too long to get the ball out, and then he has to sell it. If he throws that as a quick slant to Jones, that would have been a touchdown.
So Daniel Sullivan, who's 19 of 24 on the year, the senior from Mill Creek, Washington, will attempt this one from the left hash. 25-yarder out of the hold of Joshua Jansen, the sophomore. And the kick is good. So another scoring drive for Bob Stitt and the Grizzlies. They get 3 this time, and they extend it to 17-0.
They sure do. They put together drives consistently when they're able to get the big chunk passing game, and in doing so, that loosens up this defense. South Dakota State has got to figure out a way to slow this down. The defense is just having a tough time with the adjustments, because as we see, they're running bodies in and out, but no matter who's on the field, they can't seem to slow them down.
Let's go back to last season. Montana made it past the first round to face Eastern Washington on the road in the quarterfinals. The Eagles posting a 17-point lead early in the 3rd quarter in this one on the red turf. Vernon Adams Jr., 2 touchdowns. He ran for a score, and he's now playing quarterback at Oregon. Montana kept the comeback hopes alive. Jordan Canada running for a touchdown in the 3rd quarter. And that was followed by a Jordan Johnson to Trevor Van touchdown pass midway through the fourth to close the gap. But the Eagles put the game out of reach. A big play, Todd Raines picking off a Johnson pass, taking it back 40 yards, gave him a 37-20 lead in the final points of the game to eliminate Montana from the 2014 playoffs. Great conference, the Big Sky. Eastern Washington did not make it this year. Bob Stitt's team with a big win over the Eagles 57-16. That snapped a 4-game skid to that program, and here they are now in the postseason, hoping to make bigger noise this season. Jerian Butler will return this for South Dakota State. He's up to the 20, and he's cut down at the 24-yard line. So a lot of work to do for the Jackrabbits.
Right now, if I'm Coach Stigler, telling my guys, we just need to go down and put something on the board before this half is over. They get the ball first, I believe, in the second half. So if they can just go down, somehow put some things together, help your freshman quarterback gain some confidence, go in this halftime, regroup, make some adjustments. But I think out of anything, you have to make sure if you don't score, you don't turn the ball over, give Montana opportunity to put points on the board.
It's a Jackrabbits team that averages almost 30 points per game, shut out so far in the first half. Play action for Christian. He's in some trouble. He bobbles a football, somehow hangs on and throws it away, and that was dangerously close to another turnover inside the 10.
And that's the maturity that they say that he can possess. He saw the pressure coming. You can see as the pressure's coming, he sees it. He rolls to his right, and then the defender right there does a good job, Van Ekeren, but he does a good job. Nothing's there. Throw it, get rid of it. His receivers, though, they got to help him out. When your quarterback is running, you got to come back to him. Somebody has to come to him. Somebody has to go deep.
2nd and 10. Play fake, and an interception, almost an interception. It was dropped by Montana. Jumping the route was J.R. Nelson, and it's like he knew that play was where it was going from the get-go.
Badly developed play. You can see a long screen route. The receiver wasn't even in position. The defender read it, jumped ahead. The blocker right there, Connor Landberg, didn't do a good job of keeping the defender from getting close. And J.R. Nelson almost got that interception. This is huge. If they don't get this first down, Montana has another opportunity to put points on the board.
On 3rd and 10, pressure coming. Christian flushed out of there. Gonna try to run for it. Across the 30, has a first down as he's across the 40-yard line. But hold on, there's a penalty flag in the backfield.
I think they're going to get Dylan Sitter, the left guard, number 61, on holding as he got outside that pocket. That's what kind of happens when your quarterback starts to run. The offensive linemen are not sure where he's at.
Offensive 61, 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, it is Sider, the left guard. Here's a look.
Yeah, you can see, watch as the pressure comes. He's doing a good job. Everybody's fine. Now he goes to scramble, and they're just reading him, watching him, and then he grabs on. When a guy leaves you, you got to trust your quarterback. He's a runner. He's going to have to make one miss.
So he grabs Van Ekeren, and that costs him. They're back now at the 19-yard line. 3rd and 20. Christian steps away from pressure. He's in trouble, fumbles the football. It's picked up by Sider, and they keep possession. The left guard jumps on it, almost another turnover, and it's 4th down.
And that is fortunate. Just a 3-man rush. As a 3-man rush is coming, you look at it, there's only 3 people, but who's bringing the pressure? Tyron Holmes from the outside. He is just a beast to block, and that pressure he brings from the outside forces young Tyron Christian to move up in the pocket, and he's just not holding on to that ball. Weather can play a small factor in that it is a bit cold down here.
Derek Crittenden was also in there in the backfield, and it's 4th down. It's 3rd down, actually. 3rd down, and they need to get the football to the 34-yard line. 3 receivers right. Pressure coming. Holmes after Christian, who unleashes it, and it's incomplete, and that would have been a first down grab. But Winicky could not hang on. Sanders was defending.
That is a catch that Winicky makes usually 10 out of 10 times. you got to help young quarterbacks. Sometimes when errors happen, it's not always on the quarterback. The blocking, the running back, the receivers. And right now what I'm seeing is partially young quarterback errors. Other part is his receivers and running backs are not helping him out.
So Montana has 3 timeouts remaining. They should get excellent field position. Brady Hale standing at his 4-yard line to punt it. Gets the kick away. Wynn makes the fair catch for the Grizz on the Jackrabbit side of the field at the 48-yard line. Stay with us. Coming up on our halftime report, we'll take a look at what college sports fans in the Northwest really cared about 25 years ago. A look ahead to the next opponent for today's winner, plus stats and highlights from the first half. It has been a Montana first half so far, and they're looking to get some more here before the break.
And this is a situation I just alluded to that South Dakota State didn't want to happen. You didn't want to give them the ball back to get more points going into halftime, but they got a chance now. 7 passes, 6 rushes on that field goal last drive.
Gustafson underneath, catch made by Horner, puts his head down, and he's inside the 40 for a 9-yard pickup to the 39. Jesse Bobbitt, the leading tackler on the play for the Jackrabbits, and they hurry up to the line. First down for Wynn and more inside the 30. He was hit by Mears, and Lally was there, and a Grizzly is shaken up back near the line of scrimmage. It is Devin Dietrich, the right guard.
It's like he's trying to get up and can't, and you're not sure if it's a calf or a knee. These big boys wear the braces, usually try to protect that knee, but you can get dehydrated, you can catch something funny. A lot of people think just because it's cold, you won't dehydrate. Well, you can dehydrate when it's hot, you can dehydrate when it's cold. You got to keep yourself full with fluids before the game and as the game is going on.
It's good to see Dietrich jogging off now on his own power. Plenty of time to work with for Montana, and the 3 timeouts here at the 30.
Look for Wynn to get the ball again up the middle.
Jackrabbits showing blitz. They'll run against the blitz. Up the gut, it's Wynn. He makes a man miss to the 15. Wynn is inside the 10 and down to the 5. First and goal, Montana.
That is what a small explosive back can do for you, especially when your passing game is working so well. Defenders have to make sure they play the receivers honest. That puts a lot of pressure on the front and the linebackers, and Montana's taking advantage of it. Look for a run up the middle again.
Their power back is in there now, Calhoun. He'll get the carry straight ahead, hit, but he moves forward inside the 2. TJ Lally was in there, the quarterback of their defense, but he has had his hands full today. Second and goal.
This is where it gets tough when you run the spread offense, getting down inside the end zone, but look for another run.
And whistles. They will blow this play dead.
Second charge timeout, South Dakota State. 30-second timeout.
And right now the Jackrabbits trying to get some second win, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Give you guys a blow. You got to give you guys a blow to help them out. But you can see why. This is why they need a blow. When you have a running back like Wynn that can hide behind this big front, you can see if guys don't get off blocks, he's at the next level before you can figure it out. You can see Nick Mears comes in, misses another tackle there, and that's the kind of things that just hurts your defense. This defense played really well in the middle of the season. The last couple games, they struggled a little bit, especially finishing off the season with that tough loss in that double overtime to Western Illinois. They had some traveling situations, but that being said, we can see that this defense is still struggling. They're still having a hard time finding the knack of bringing the right kind of pressure and making plays in open field.
This up-tempo attack can really wear you down. Gustafson has had a big half with a couple touchdown passes already, and they've mixed in the run effectively. They'll keep Calhoun on the field, the freshman running back from Long Beach. Second down and goal inside the 2 for the Grizz. It'll be Calhoun straight ahead. Touchdown, Montana.
Nice run by Jeremy Calhoun, just driving the legs, getting into that end zone. You're going to see as he gets the ball, there's some pressure. There's the wall. Now who's going to be the toughest? And right now, the Montana Grizzlies front is establishing their dominance in the running game. Even though a spread offense, they're showing that they can get it done on the ground.
9 touchdowns rushing for Calhoun. They're inside the 10 guy, showing why. Straight ahead, Sullivan's extra point. And it's 24-0 Grizzlies. Dominating this first half. Got a lot of weapons. This is a team that really is playing with a lot of confidence on the offensive side of the ball. And this is their number 2 guy, and he could easily be a number 1 running back.
Oh, he definitely could. And they're a 1-2 tandem, the way that Wynn and Calhoun work together. They're very productive, especially they like using Calhoun when they get down in that red zone. That's why Wynn was trying to score. He knew he was coming out because the big guy was coming in. But this offense is really clicking right now. And it starts with Gustafson, their quarterback, coming back off an injury. He's showing that the playbook is wide open. They can do whatever they want. Now, the biggest thing they got to guard against is a few years back, I want to say it was 2009 maybe, this South Dakota State team came in and had a huge lead against then the number 1 Montana Grizz team.
Yeah.
And then they mounted the greatest comeback, I think, in Grizz history. So right now they have to guard against that, because this is a team that could go into halftime. They have the weapons with Winicky and these other guys to climb back into it. We'll just have to see what happens.
24-0 Montana. Jerian Butler standing back at the 2-yard line for South Dakota State. And they have just 1 timeout remaining, and they might want to just regroup here and hit the reset button, as that is bobbled in the end zone, and it will be a touchback out to the 25-yard line for South Dakota State. Trevor Wesley opting not to run that one out. There's a penalty flag in the middle of the field. Hang on.
It could be unsportsmanlike. I saw a Montana guy and a South Dakota State guy pointing at each other in a little extra curricular activity, let's just say.
After the play ended, unsportsmanlike conduct on defense, 15-yard penalty, number 51, first down.
Tucker Shy, the guilty party. And that'll give him a little bit of field position here, and you do have 43 seconds to work with. You see Bob Stitt here. He's a Tecumseh, Nebraska native. He grew up around Huskers football, so he knows all about intense fans. He says it used to wreck his year when he'd see Nebraska lose. They feel about that the same way here at Montana. Great fan base, great tradition here in Missoula.
Well, the measuring stick is when your department stores has a section of the apparel. That's when you know it's big time.
It's all Montana here in Grizzly country, as Christian throws on first down, and he delivers a strike to Wesley, and that's a first down grab to the 49-yard line. Herbert Gamboa on the tackle.
Now, I like that as a first down play. This penalty is something that can kind of help spar them, gives them some positive yards. Now I would go to my big boys. You have 38 seconds. You got tall receivers and tight ends. Put that ball up, let them make a play.
2 receivers to each side here. Christian standing in, flag is thrown, downfield, incomplete. He wanted Goddard down near the 30.
Looks like they got encroachment on the defense.
That's Holmes. Holmes doesn't really need a lot of help
getting
to the quarterback, but he jumped early there.
And he is giving them fits right now. They've been having to leave a tight end to chip and help out, because the pressure he's bringing is causing this, especially down here that last play where he only 3-man rush and he forced that fumble. This guy just really has a knack for finding the ball.
1st and 5 now at the 44. A chance for the Jackrabbits to get some points with that 1 timeout left. Christian, slant, and it's through the hands of Goddard, incomplete. May have heard footsteps as Gamboa was there in coverage from his linebacker spot.
Nice coming up right there by Gamboa, but you're going to see this is a catch you got to make. The ball's right there. It's a little bit behind. It's a little bit behind, but I still think that's something that's catchable.
2nd and 5. It's been a tough half for Taryn Christian. Trying to get him on the scoreboard here, give him some momentum heading into the break. Christian rolling right. Down he goes at the 48-yard line. Guess who? Tyrone Holmes, the senior from Eagle Point, Oregon.
At some point, Christian's going to have to realize he cannot roll to the right like that and stay flat. Watch as he rolls out. He rolls flat. When you have a DN like Tyrone Holmes that can come with that kind of pressure, you're going to have to bow out a little bit more, kind of make it a harder angle. But they got to figure out something. They got to get more help. He is just getting in there too easily. And the quarterback, the young quarterback, doesn't have time to set his feet and even read the field.
Jackrabbits use their final timeout here with third down upcoming. 32.5 career sacks for Tyrone Holmes, a couple of them today. And he is tied for second all-time in school history in terms of sacks. And this guy he's a difference maker.
He's a complete difference maker, and somebody you will see on the next level because of this flexibility. You'll see him as a hybrid, kind of spread out the rush in. And that's what kind of NFL has kind of gone to, this specialty guys. And when you're a guy that can really rush the passer and you have the rush skills, that's something they're always looking for.
3rd and 13 for Christian. In trouble, escapes it. He has a lot of room in front of him. He's going to run with it across midfield and out of bounds at the 48-yard line. It's still going to be 4th down. With 14 seconds to go, Ryan Johnson runs him out.
Well, right now, if I'm South Dakota State, I line my big guys up. I take a shot, try to get a Hail Mary in. Looks like they're going to punt, though.
Well, it has not been a half Coach Stig will be happy about, and they're just going to hit the reset button here and try to make some adjustments.
They're going to have to. You got to dial down some things. You got to get the protection down. That's been part of the problem, the protection. Because when he's given time, he has gotten the ball out.
Hale gets the punt away. No one back to return it. It'll take a hop inside the 15 and continues to roll and might run out the first half clock. It will. That will be the final play. And here's a flag coming in after the punt. So hold on. It would have been the final play, but there's a flag to sort out.
Is Montana going to get caught on a after the play situation again? Guys are getting a little feisty, and there's no need for it right now.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Montana number 10, taunting. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff to begin the second half.
So the first half is in the books. Connor Strom, the guilty party. They'll tack that on to start the second half. 24-0 Montana. What a great first half effort.
Great first half. They've come out and done everything that they've wanted to do offensively. They ran the ball, passed the ball well, but more importantly, the defense is bowed up and allowed the receivers to get behind them downfield.
A couple Brady Gustafson touchdown passes, and Bob Stitt has to like what he sees in FCS first-round action. Grizz 24, Jackrabbits nothing. Halftime coming up. Stay tuned for that right after these messages. Welcome back to our college football halftime report from Missoula, our first-round FCS playoff game between South Dakota State and Montana. Today's game featuring U.S. schools whose football reputation has only come to national attention in the past decade. For years, college sports in the Northwest was better known for track and field. And, of course, the most noted track and field school was Oregon, home of the great Steve Prefontaine. ESPN's Gene Wojciechowski looks back on the legacy left behind in the Northwest.
Prefontaine, who may lap somebody before this one's over at the pace that he is going.
For the last 36 years, runners from across the U.S. and even the world have come to the fishing and lumber town of Coos Bay, Oregon, to run where Steve Prefontaine used to run.
He's been dead a lot longer than he ever lived, and there are still people that make pilgrimages to Coos Bay in search of his heritage.
To your mark.
And every year, football players from Marshfield High School, Pre's old school, are waiting at the finish line. Mark Helfrich, class of '92, starting quarterback and now Oregon's head coach, used to be one of those players.
He is bigger today than he was when I was a young kid. Just a tough, progressive guy from a blue-collar background that tried to be different. Certainly the legacy of Steve Prefontaine is amazingly alive and well 40 years after his death.
He's the son of Coos Bay, Oregon. That's our guy, and we're Pre's people.
You take pride in that as, oh, I'm from Coos Bay, and so is Steve Prefontaine. The town kind of came alive when my brother started doing his thing.
Pre's thing was simple and primal. Win and inflict pain doing it.
From Coos Bay, Oregon, Steve Prefontaine.
He did it at Marshfield High, at Oregon, and to any opponent or stopwatch that got in his way. At one point, the Olympian held 8 American records, and his stare became iconic.
When I was in college, I used to come up here and run at Hayward Field, and I would always do the famous break the tape and look up at the clock and check my time, so to speak.
Helfrich wasn't even 2 years old on May 30th, 1975, but he knows what that date means. In Coos Bay, everyone knows.
Steve Prefontaine, America's leading long-distance runner, was killed last night in a car accident in Eugene, Oregon. Around midnight, according to police, he was driving alone in a sports convertible. The car jumped the curb, hit an embankment, and flipped over, pinning Prefontaine underneath. He was 24.
40 years ago, he died right up on that hill. I've been up there a few times by myself, but it's amazing. Every single time you're up there, there's stuff, a token of their appreciation of him.
Prefontaine was gone, but there was something about his legacy that resonated with Helfrich, the athlete, and years later, with Helfrich, the coach.
Our guys probably sick and tired of hearing about Coos Bay, Oregon, and this runner.
You saw Steve Prefontaine run with passion and run with all of his guts and put it out all on the field or the track. And I think that's something he kind of tells us and hopes that we do.
Do you have a favorite pre-quote?
Well, I think his most famous one is to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
He always checked the clock, and he never looked at his competitors. He never looked at anybody else. He looked essentially against himself. And that's what we try to instill in our guys every single day. Is it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It matters what you're doing.
Helfrich and Prefontaine never met, but they see each other every day outside Helfrich's office.
That's the beauty of a photo that never grows old. Pre will always be 24 years old. So he lives. He lives as a standard that we try to achieve both as coaches and as athletes.
Being from the same hometown, having that connection is something that I think is, for me personally, very special.
Halftime in Missoula. We'll be back with more after this break. Welcome back to Missoula, Montana at halftime. A dominant first half from the Montana Grizzlies. The Grizz leading South Dakota State 24-0 as we have one half in the books. Let's take a look at the top half of the FCS brackets. The winner here, it'll be a rematch regardless of who wins this game against the 4-time defending FCS champs, North Dakota State in Fargo. Sets up a great storyline regardless. Montana beat the Bison in their first game of the year.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask for sometimes when North Dakota State is a rematch of a team that beat you off. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
And you see Western Illinois out of the Missouri Valley Football Conference with a win. They advance to take on Illinois State, also from the Missouri Valley. The other half of the bracket on the road to Frisco, Texas. As we look at some other matchups, it's interesting to see some of the familiar names, and one of those is Sam Houston State. Year in and year out, they're one of those teams that vies to win the whole thing, and they're in a dogfight right now with Southern Utah, the Big Sky champs.
And what's interesting is they played each other last year in the first round as well, too, and Sam Houston got out of there with the win, and right now it seems they're tied up, and maybe Southern Utah's learned a couple things from that experience from last year.
And Chattanooga advancing. They'll get the top number 1 overall seed, Jacksonville State, coming up on December 5th. And both of our teams, as we mentioned, we have played North Dakota State already this year, and that'll be the next stop for the winner of this one. It will not be easy in Fargo, North Dakota, and you can see the scores. Jackrabbits had a tough time. Grizz had success with Gustafson at quarterback.
They sure did, and we're seeing why. This offense can be very explosive, very quick, and the amount of plays they like to run to put pressure on that defense. But it's not only pressure on the defense, it's pressure on the opposing team offense because they feel they have to go tit for tat. And if they don't keep up, before you know it, they're out too far in the lead.
Well, the next stop will be North Dakota State for the winner here, and it has been an amazing run for the Bison.
He's at the 10-yard line, he's at the 5-yard line, he's going down in, and he's going to score the touchdown!
North Dakota State wins the first FCS title in North Dakota State history.
Stutter step, takes a retrieve up guard, breaks the tackle at the 10, at the 5, touchdown!
Hey, I'll tell you what, in this football team up here, one heck of a job today, guys. Back-to-back national champions.
And Jensen running off the left side is across the goal line, touchdown!
Something special here that we got within this team, NDSU, the fans, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And Wentz is going to keep it. Wentz into the end zone. The Dakota dynasty lives on. 4 consecutive titles.
FCS playoffs, first round action in Missoula, Montana. The Montana Grizzlies leading South Dakota State 24-0 in this Big Sky Missouri Valley Football Conference matchup. Winner gets North Dakota State in round 2 in Fargo. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and it was all Montana. They did it through the air. They did it on the ground. Gustafson got him off to a good start.
Sure did. You're going to see as Gustafson gets his early, quick touchdown there to Jamal Jones, getting their star receiver involved early, and then he wasn't done. Henderson, the slot guy, going outside, catching the ball at the highest point, get them ahead by 2 scores, and then there he is, win. Cut move hard, another cut move hard, getting downfield, trying to get in that end zone. But he couldn't, so he let his running mate Calhoun finish that off. They snuck in a field goal in between all that to put that 24 points on the board.
78, 87, and 48-yard touchdown drives. You can see the total numbers clearly in favor of Montana, and their tempo has bothered South Dakota State.
It clearly has, but I want to point you to the 109 yards on the ground. Coach Stitz said we have to run the ball if we're going to be successful. They'd like to get to 200 in a game. They're halfway there.
Montana trying to get win number 8 and get them to the second round. It's been all Grizz so far. 24-0 lead at the break. Third quarter kickoff coming up. Welcome back to the 2015 NCAA Division I Football Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. One of the great college football environments, FCS first round play. Missoula, Montana, Washington Grizzlies Stadium, the site for this matchup between South Dakota State and Montana. It has been all Montana so far. This Big Sky team riding the crest of momentum at the end of the regular season. They scored over 50 in wins against Eastern Washington and Montana State. And they have carried that over, and all kinds of potential for this team with the way they run offense and now the way they're playing defense.
Yeah, and we see, Coach talked about the strength. Coach Stiegelmeier said, you know, this front seven, and what we're seeing right now is the front seven for Montana is really set the tone. They've really frustrated the South Dakota State offense. They've not really allowed them to get a good running game on them. You look at Paris, 6 touches for 21 yards, and then you got Isaac Wallace, 3 touches for 10 yards. I mean, they're not really getting them much done on the ground, and their star receiver, Winneke, is without a catch. And so it's attribute to this defense.
Leiter to kick it off from the 20. There was that personal foul penalty at the end of the first half, so it should be good field position for the Jackrabbits. Trevor Wesley across the 35 on the return, and he's out to the 37-yard line as he's tackled by Ryan McKinley. So the Jackrabbits, hoping they've made adjustments to get the ball rolling on offense, shut out in that first half. It's a team that averages almost 30 points per game on the season.
Yeah, and I think what's important about this drive, like I mentioned, what was so important about that last drive, is you got to get some points. A field goal, a touchdown, you have to do something. And I think it starts by getting your All-American receiver involved. I think if you see him on man-to-man matchups, you need to throw a fade route to the outside.
Middle linebacker Jeremiah Kosei has been big so far, and on first down, Christian flushed out of the pocket, and the pass is incomplete. He put it on the money for Cam Jones over there. He couldn't hang on near the sideline.
Sure did not, and that's the side. They keep rushing. When you're trying to do a sprint out on Tyrone Holmes' side, the most effective way you can do that is you have to put a tight end or running back to chip him to allow the quarterback to get outside. If you don't do that, this is what's going to continue to happen.
You see the numbers on Christian. Great ability to run the football. Has had some big games this season passing it. They're going to need a little bit of both. And they run it left side and nothing doing for Paris as he's shut down by Kosei. The guy we talked about to open up the second half, leading them in tackles in this game, fifth-year senior from Oceanside, California.
And you can see he just shoots the gap, just like Junior Seau used to do, who also grew up in Oceanside. Shoots the gap, makes the great tackle. When your linebackers can make plays for negative losses, forcing third and long, that shows you why the score is what it is right now. This offense has just had a hard time.
3rd and 13. And they're coming on the blitz. Christian in some trouble, has to throw it away. Didn't have a chance. He just dumped it off for Paris. They'll have to punt the ball. And right now, the Grizz are not holding back at all. They are bringing pressure with the big lead. They're comfortable with what they're doing.
And that's what you do. There's an old adage, do what you do best. They're doing best by letting this front seven get after the quarterback, so you keep it going, even if it's 3rd and long. And what we're seeing right now is they're sniffing out everything. Every screen that they've tried to run, they're blowing it up, and the DBs are doing a good job of making the quarterback have to go to a 2nd and 3rd read.
Brady Hale with the punt from his 25, hangs it up there, and it's going to hit the helmet of a Jackrabbit, and the ball is loose inside the 20. I think it touched a Grizzly. They are on it. It's recovered at the 21, and I think that hit a Montana player, but Wynn was cognizant enough to jump on it, and they have the football.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I think it might have been, when we see the replay, I think we'll see what helmet it came off, but it literally skimmed off a helmet and just shot that way. They were all so close. Let's see right there, South Dakota State player. It hit him on the helmet and shot that way. That was Dalton Cox, the linebacker. And when that happened, Wynn did a good job because you couldn't tell. It happened so fast, you never knew who was there.
But after the ricochet off the helmet, it hit a Grizzly, and that's why Wynn had to get back and cover it at the 12-yard line. So it really could have been a potentially big play for South Dakota State.
Smart play, but it comes back, I think, when that's why they're lining up there. When the punt team touches it, it becomes dead at that spot.
They killed it at the 33-yard line.
But, hey, as a team, that's what you're supposed to do. You're right. Boom, and then it hits the player on the ground. And so Wynn sees that, and he chases after the ball. That's good heads up by Montana. Understand. You can see that hits 2 players.
Yep.
Boom, boom. And he's smart enough to think, wait a minute, whoa. Using that speed, gets to the ball, corrals it. And I think that's what they're reviewing right now. But usually what happens is when the punt team touches it, it becomes dead at that spot.
It's dead right there is what you're saying. Yeah, they're going to spot it at the 33-yard line as it hit the helmet of Dalton Cox, the redshirt freshman. But, you know, you don't want to take a chance if you're John Wynn there. Get on the football.
Yep.
First down.
So Montana will have it at the 33, first series here in the second half.
Yep. It's a lot better than back at the 10. That's a much better start for them.
So Bob Stitt's team playing with a lot of confidence. A couple of Gustafson touchdown passes, a touchdown run from Calhoun. And it was up-tempo every snap in that first half. They will not change what they do, even with the sizable lead here. Gustafson, pressure coming up the gut, dumps it off underneath. Henderson the catch, hit right away. Good tackle made by Nick Mears. The junior from Millbank, South Dakota, put one on him at the 39.
And that's what they have to do, but just look at the time. It's really tough. The South Dakota State front has just had a tough time getting pressure. They haven't dialed up a lot of blitzes, and when you leave a quarterback like Gustafson in time, he's just going to pick you apart.
5-yard pickup, play action. Gustafson going for the deep ball, wants Henderson, and it's incomplete near the 30-yard line. Chris Balster was right with him, step for step, the sophomore from Sheldon, Iowa.
So we got 3rd and short right now. If I'm South Dakota State, I'm bringing some pressure. I'm blitzing the A gaps. I want to force the quarterback off of his spot, make him uncomfortable.
They're showing blitz. Ideally, they'd like to rush 4, but they haven't been able to get to the quarterback here, and that is why they've had to ramp it up with the blitz a little bit. And here they come on 3rd down after Gustafson, and he has to fire it incomplete. Had to get rid of the football before he wanted to, and there's a case of dialing up the right pressure as J.R. Plody was in the backfield.
Yep, that's it. That's what I was looking for. You got to bring that pressure up the A gaps, force the quarterback to be uncomfortable, and that's what they did. Got him off the field. This is a great adjustment at halftime, and let's see if they continue that on. Offensively, though, they're going to have to figure out the way to block this front.
Jerian Butler awaiting the punt from Chris Leiter, the 5th-year senior. Honorable mention, all Big Sky. Gets the kick away from the 30. Fair catch called for and made by Butler at the 26-yard line. So a good stop defensively from South Dakota State. Now they'll try to get their offense ramped up. 13-19 to go 3rd quarter, all Grizzlies. Great setting here at Washington Grizzly Stadium, Missoula, Montana. The Grizzlies leading South Dakota State 24-0. Early stages, 3rd quarter. South Dakota State getting a stop defensively, trying to get their offense going as they'll run it right up the gut, and a big gain on 1st down for Kyle Paris, the junior, and he moves the chains up to the 37. Crittenden on the tackle.
I like this. Go no huddle, increase the speed. That was a great run on 1st down.
He's a downhill physical guy, and he'll get the carry again running off the left side this time up to the 38, maybe a yard. And that's it for Paris. He and Mangarelli complement each other well, but Paris has had a little bit more success in this one.
They have, and I think this is good. Help the young freshman quarterback. You go no huddle, you increase the pace. He has to think less.
Looking for the play call from the sideline. Christian, the freshman from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, has time to the sideline and incomplete. That's through the hands of Brandon Andrews. And that's a tough break there because that ball was delivered on the money. Harris on the coverage.
It did, right in the middle of his numbers, and that's a catch he should have had. Both these offenses, when you think about the first half, you look at the score, they were even. Both ran 42 plays in the first half. The difference being Montana put the scoring drives together versus South Dakota State not being able to do that. They have to find a way to keep their drives going. They can't just get 1 first down and then off the field.
Drop balls have not helped. 3rd and long now. Christian going deep downfield. He's got a man open and he overshoots him. Winnicky was open near the 20. Nelson on the coverage, and that was an opportunity missed right there.
And we talked about it. That was a little bit long thrown the ball. But Winnicky is just this long strider. When you put the ball out there, he has a chance if it's a little bit more air on. You see how much that was direct? He needs to arc it a bit more. But the play before, Brandon Andrews didn't help him out. And that's what we talked about in the first half. Some of it's on the quarterback, some of it's on the receivers and running backs not helping their guy out.
Montana's going to get it back. Wynn awaiting the punt from Hale, and he gets the kick away. Good pressure on the punter that time. Wynn will make the fair catch at the 24-yard line. So South Dakota State again struggling with offense, and Montana's D has been stellar. 24-0 lead for the home team here at Missoula. 24-0 Montana leading South Dakota State. FCS first-round playoff action. It did not start well for the Grizz in this one. Their first 3 drives didn't result in any points, but they've been red hot of late, and Gustafson takes the reins here to start this drive on the 24-yard line. They'll run it straight ahead with Wynn and not much doing, maybe a yard up to the 25. Here's a look at the start for Montana. They really fizzled out quickly, but look at drive number 4, and they've picked up the pace since then.
Sure did. They figured out it's better when they pass first on first down and then run versus when they run on first down then pass.
And 2 long touchdown drives. Gustafson now on second down, dumps it off underneath. It's Jones with a catch, and he's hammered down at the 30-yard line by Jared Bloom, the former Nebraska Cornhusker. It'll be third down coming up.
That's when you try to dance around a little too much. You got to be savvy of what's coming from behind.
Bloom from Gretna, Nebraska, 3 years with the Huskers. He's a backup tight end there. He's been a good defensive end for South Dakota State. On 3rd and 3, blitz coming. Gustafson, incomplete. Intended for Roberts. And it's 4th down and another stop for that Jackrabbits defense.
The defense is kind of dialed it up a little bit. They figured out now bring some A-gap pressure, which they've done now consecutively on 3rd down, force the quarterback to have to get the ball out. Defenders are doing a better job of the open field tackling like they did on the first couple of drives. They just got to get some help from their offense now. But the defense has stepped up and doing what they need to do, at least for these first 2 drives in the third quarter.
Jerian Butler at the Jackrabbit 30-yard line. The punt from Leiter. A wobbler. He's got it at the 33-yard line. Nowhere to go. Good coverage downfield by Montana as they bottle him up at the 35. South Dakota State has struggled. That's an understatement. A fumble to start things. He had an 11-play drive that ended on downs, but this is a team that averages almost 30 points. They just can't get it jump-started.
And that's the tough part about it. I mean, 42 plays, and we saw what Montana had. Here's 42 plays, and what happened when South Dakota State had it. They just could not capitalize, and that's to the credit of this Montana Grizzly defense. They're going to have to figure it out because they're capable of it, but they have to find a way to be consistent.
They don't have their captain quarterback, Zach Lujan. It's been Christian all the way at QB for the Jackrabbits. He's under pressure again, going to run it. Keeps his footing. He's got a first down. Christian in the open field. And he's cut down finally at the 35-yard line, and there's his ability to make something happen when it looks like nothing is available. Big run, Nelson on the tackle.
Well, he's a big kid. You know, it takes a lot. You never got to get an arm tackle, but you can see, goes to his read, nothing's there. He's flush. Finally puts the ball away, which is good. That hit right there is because they didn't wrap up. He's doing the rest of it, and J.R. Nelson comes in and saves the day. Otherwise, that's a touchdown.
30-yard pickup, first down at the Grizzlies' 35-yard line. South Dakota State trying to get on the scoreboard here. Get themselves back into this one. Christian with a play fake over the middle. Winicky the catch. And a first down for the Jackrabbits to the 17. Nelson on the tackle.
Now, if I'm South Dakota State, I'm going no huddle. I'm getting up to the line right now. I'm keeping the pace going, and I get this man-to-man coverage again. And I go to Winicky on the outside because he can do a fade route and catch a touchdown right now.
After the 18-yard pickup, they'll throw it again, and it's incomplete. And they did look for Winicky there, but Nelson there to bat it away.
It was a bad throw. He's trying to float it over there because you have a big guy. Big guys are best throw. If you're doing a tight end down the seam, that's one thing because now you're stretching things out. When you bring your receiver, your All-American receiver in like that, you want to do a quick slant. You're not trying to float the ball over to him.
Well, look at the red zone numbers for South Dakota State. They have not been the best when they get it inside the 20. And they need touchdowns, not field goals at this juncture. Christian zips it, and that's knocked away. That was Kendrick Van Ackeren, the linebacker.
He sees the one-on-one coverage to his left side. He's just reading the quarterback's eyes. And this is what I was talking about that Christian has to get better at. He's staring down where he wants to go with the ball. That makes it easy for the defense to jump on balls. He has to look people over, and that's where Lohan's experience as a quarterback would come in.
3rd and 10 from the 17. Wallace is in at the running back spot. Here comes pressure. Christian to the corner and incomplete. Sanders on the coverage. He was looking for Dallas Goddard, the tight end. It's 4th down, and they're going to try to get 3 out of this drive now.
Yeah, you're going to see they're trying to do the fade route. You got your tight end out there, but you got to put the ball in a spot where he has a chance. And right now what we're seeing out of Tyron Christian is his balls are floating and coming down flat. He's not putting any air on them, not giving his guys an opportunity to go up and get the ball.
Jay Carlson for a 34-yard attempt. He's a 14 of 21 on the year. And the kick is good. So South Dakota State gets points. They're on the board for the first time, now trailing 24-3. 10:02 to go, third quarter. Still a 3-touchdown advantage for Montana here in the FCS playoffs. John Stiegelmeier's bunch finally getting on the board thanks to a Jay Carlson field goal. The Jackrabbits, one of 5 FCS programs to make 4 straight playoff trips, along with Coastal Carolina, North Dakota State, Sam Houston State, and New Hampshire, but they have their hands full with Montana today. Dominating performance from the Grizzlies. South Dakota State hoping their defense can play the way they've played, though, so far in this third quarter to try and stay close here.
They're going to need that. If they're going to get back in this game, they have to come out and continue to do what they're doing. Try to stop this Montana offense from putting together another drive. If they can force a 3 and out, even if they give up a first down, get them off the field within that second drive. Keep your offense on the short field. Help your young quarterback out. He's just struggling right now by mental mistakes, and then when he does make a good throw, the receivers are dropping the ball. So it's just been an uncharacteristic game for them.
Carlson's kick will be returnable. It'll be Henderson, and he's tripped up as he crosses the 20-yard line. An 18-yard return. Cody Hazlett was over there on the play. And now Montana leading 24-3. They had a slow start to the first half. They're hoping that maybe they'll ramp it up here as this game continues in the third quarter. But so far for Gustafson and company, they have been very sharp.
Well, the switch happened when they started getting those big chunk pass plays on first down and then coming back with the run. Let's see if they start the drive that way.
Wynn is the running back, and he'll get the carry, and he runs into a brick wall. Absolutely nothing up the middle. Shane Gutlob, the junior from Salem, South Dakota, that is a physical front. They're playing more inspired here in the second half.
They surely are. They've caught their second win, and if Montana's going to keep doing this, it helps them out because then they're not panicking off the big pass plays.
2nd and 10, it's Wynn again, trying to bounce to the outside. Makes one man miss and gets a couple yards up to the 23-yard line. At the point of attack, the Jackrabbits are winning the line of scrimmage here.
They surely are. This half, they're drilling through. You can see right there the bust through of Shane Gottlieb, making them have to bounce outside because of his penetration, and that's what made that play so successful for the defense.
3rd and 8. Three receivers to the right this time for Gustafson.
From South Dakota State, show the pressure, then back on out.
They're showing blitz. They're coming with the blitz. Gustafson slant pattern, caught but short of the first down. The tackle was made by Jimmy Forsyth on Jamal Jones, and a good tackle. It's 4th down.
Great play. Looks like right now what South Dakota State's doing on 3rd down, they're making sure they're blitzing the A gaps, bringing pressure, forcing him to get the ball out quicker than he wants to. And right now, that's what they're going to have to do because they can't get there with their front four. They're going to have to manufacture the pressure.
And they have made some good adjustments so far. Still trailing by 21. They need their offense to find the end zone, though, and that has been a struggle against Montana. Chris Leiter will punt it for the Grizz from the 19-yard line. Butler comes up on it, makes a catch at the 34. Butler to the 40. And he's gang tackled right there as Strom was down there to make the play for Montana. Let's take a look at our half of the bracket. FCS action. Winner here goes to Fargo to take on the 4-time defending FCS champs North Dakota State. They are waiting in the dome for that one. And Western Illinois with a victory. Impressive out of the Missouri Valley.
Well, you think about how they got in. They needed that win against South Dakota State in that double overtime on their home field to get in. And they show the committee that they made a good choice because they just not only won, they handily won on the road at Dayton. And when you can do something like that, it kind of validates why you're there.
Missouri Valley, arguably the top conference. You get votes from most people as the top conference in the FCS. Here's the run by Paris on first down, and Paris a big gain down to the Montana 43-yard line. J.R. Nelson on the tackle. All of a sudden, you can sense a little confidence here from the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, and that's what they want. They're getting those big chunk runs on the first down, which then helps them out. And I'd like to see on this pass play, look down here at the bottom. Winneke, see if they can go to him.
Up tempo, they look for the call from the sideline. Christian with the first down at the 42. A blitz. Christian flushed out of the pocket again, and he has to get rid of the football. Now that was Crittenden coming after him, and he got some help from Van Akron as well.
Yeah, and very athletic quarterback, can really run around, and Winneke did a good job of coming back, trying to help him out in that pass play. And he, for his credit, he did his best to get the ball to him. It just wasn't enough space.
Gifted as a runner, they knew that all along. He's had some big passing games, 307 yards against Illinois State, has struggled throwing it effectively here. Here's a quarterback keeper, and he's cut down. And that was Nate Harris, the fifth-year senior corner, who's a three-year starter with a big play.
Now, that's the second time that they dialed up the corner blitz and brought that play to keep the quarterback back. Now, they need to pay attention to that. That's happened both times on the short side of the field. So a corner can cheat and get in there and bring that kind of pressure. So I think this third down is instrumental. Look for Montana to dial up some more pressure, because they don't want to let him kind of get going.
3rd and 10. Trips to the right side as Wesley moves over there in motion. Christian, quarterback draw. He calls his own number. He's to the 35, shy of the first down. A good run. It'll be 4th and 3 coming up. Yaman Sanders on the tackle.
Best way to beat a blitz is draw, screens, and this is a quarterback draw. They see the blitz coming, and they take that play and use it and get positive yards. But it looks like a penalty may have brought it back.
And they're marking the football. They pick up the flag. There was no flag. There was one that fell out of the pocket, the official, but they marked the football at the 37. He looked like he got the ball to the 35. That looks like that's an interesting spot right there.
I think what it is encroachment, and they gave him 5 yards, so redoing 3rd down.
They are doing that, so it's now 3rd down from the 37-yard line, and they'll hand it off. And that's not going to get the first down with Paris down to the 34-yard line. Instead of a 4th and 3 now, they're looking at a 4th and 2. Van Akron on the tackle.
Well, they're at the point, I think it is 4-down territory. You got to go for it unless you pin back. But look right down here at the bottom of the screen, depending on it. Get it to your playmakers, Winneke.
Paris standing behind Christian in the backfield. Now to his left. Handoff, Paris running right. Hit, leans forward, has a first down to the 31-yard line. That's confidence in your run game right there.
That's big confidence, because they have that type of play, and I give the coaches credit. They saw something and they went for it, but that's on the offensive line. They've been getting dominated. To say, you know what, guys, we're going to stick with you, that's a huge play.
And again, they'll continue to speed things up here as they get to the line of scrimmage quickly, and this has helped them on offense.
Could be a man-to-man matchup here all across the field. Look for him to go to outside receivers.
Christian will hand it off, and shut down in the backfield is Paris. And that was Herbert Gamboa with a great play and a big loss back to the 37, 6-yard loss.
And that was the situation. South Dakota State should have realized the blitz was coming. They had guys up in the box. The DBs and the safeties were cheating up. You have to know some pressure's coming from somewhere. That type of play, somebody's going to be on block, and it's going to be hard to be successful.
2nd and 16. Christian with pressure coming downfield. Winneke, he's got it. The catch is made inside the 5-yard line, out of bounds at the 1 as he beat Nate Harris near the pylon.
You can see why this guy averages 20.4 yards a catch. When he gets one-on-one coverage, watch this ball as it's thrown like it should be, finally outside and high. Watch what he does. He slows down, he walls the DB off, and in doing so, he allows that ball to drop right into the basket. Great catch to get down inside the 5-yard line.
The All-American with a grab that has put him on the doorstep. And they are reviewing this last play to see if indeed he did get his feet down and where to mark it out. Here's a look.
As we see, finally put some air underneath the ball. There's the catch. Yeah, he's definitely looks in. College, all you need is one. It looks like he got two.
Now the pylon was knocked down before he got there. You see that?
Yep. Two.
And he is out short of the goal line.
Sure is.
And they have confirmed the call on the field, which was a catch down to the 1.
Yep, and that's what you need. You got to get these guys involved. He's been quiet the first half. Now you see when you start to get some success in the running game.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
So when you get that success, then it opens up now where you can start to go a little deep because the defense has to play honest. The one thing that they haven't adjusted from the first half to the second half is figuring out the blitz, where it's coming from, making sure you're getting the right protection. But then again, you're talking about a true freshman at quarterback. If Lujan was in there, better chance of getting everybody in right position.
Christian and the rest of his teammates have played much better here in the third quarter, though. They have Paris in at the running back spot. They'll hand it off to number 32 straight ahead. He burrows his way and he's close. No indication he's inside the 1, and it'll be a second down from there.
Now, if I'm South Dakota State, I pick up the tempo right now, but it looks like somebody might be hurt on the field.
They get a touchdown here. It's ball game on. It looked like Montana would run away with this one as they attend to Grizzly linebacker Kendrick Van Akron.
Now that'd be a big loss. Your leading tackler, if he can't stay on the field.
Jay, they continue to look at Kendrick here. We talked about at the outset how good these two conferences are throughout the course of the last 5-10 years. You talk about the Big Sky and the Missouri Valley Conference. Here's a look at this year's FCS championship. 5 bids for the Missouri Valley Football Conference, 3 for the Big Sky. Again, you could argue the top 2 conferences, and of course you have North Dakota State leading the charge there in the Mo Valley.
Exactly, and what that does when you have tough conferences is it breeds solid competitive teams. Now, we're starting to see the South Dakota State team that wanted to show up in the beginning of this game, they're starting to play that way now. But when you have conferences such as those two, put that many teams in, that shows you week in and week out. As we just saw with Western Illinois, who was, I believe they were 4 and something or 5 and something. They didn't really have a complete winning record, but because of the physicalness of that division, they're able to get in.
Paris at running back, but calling his own number is Christian. He's in, touchdown. A delayed call, and it is a touchdown for the Jackrabbits, and they are in the end zone for the first time. It's 24-9.
You can see just simple nose push, and that's a mano a mano. Who's going to win the battle? Man up and try to drive your guy back, and that's what this offensive front done. This offensive line, to give them credit, they've been struggling, but this second half, they've come out and told themselves, we're going to establish our running game. And so far, they've been on track in doing that.
And both sides of the line of scrimmage have been controlled here in the third quarter by South Dakota State. Carlson for the extra point. And it's 24-10. 24-0 at halftime. 10 points here in the third quarter for South Dakota State. And this game could be very interesting with 3:49 to go in the third quarter. A lot of football left.
It could. If I'm Montana, I gotta take a step back right now. I gotta say, look, let's go back to what we're doing. They were trying to eat up some clock, running the ball. You need to stay with what you've been doing, but then maybe not snap the ball so quickly to help eat up the clock.
First round play, FCS championship on the road to Frisco, Texas. Here's a look at the other side of the bracket. Chattanooga with 50 points, but it'll be a tougher test against the #1 overall seed Jacksonville State. And how about the Citadel upsetting Coastal Carolina on a last-second field goal?
Hey, that's what this is all about. You know, people always ask, do you like college basketball? I said, no, I like March Madness, and that's what we have here. That's why I love it, because it's win or go home, and any little thing can make a difference. And to drive down and have that type of game, To win on the road is so gratifying and huge. It's one of those, no one expects you to win except you and the rest of your teammates and those coaches.
That Coastal Carolina team 2 years ago came to Missoula in negative temperatures and knocked off Montana. You never know when postseason football gets started. 24-10 game now. Carlson to kick it away. It's a short kick, and this one is going to kick out of bounds. And an error there by the special teams. And it'll be good field position for Montana.
That's something you just don't want to do. Your defense has been playing well. You've been able to get points on the board finally. And now you're going to give them a great starting point at the 35-yard line.
So Gustafson, after a big first half, they've slowed him down here in the third quarter, but good field position to start this series.
I like to see him pass on the first down here. Try to open it up.
Play action. Brady to the air near sideline and incomplete. Overshoots Ben Roberts. You know, when this machine is rolling, we saw in the first half, they're tough to stop, but when they're off kilter, they can look pretty ordinary.
And that's the problem. When you look at what that play was, Gustafson didn't really step into it, put zip into it. That was an easy-able catch. That was one that could have been completed for a first down. But because you've slowed your tempo down, you've went against what you've normally done, it affects what you want to do.
They had to reset the clock here. It's at 3:44 in the third quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Wynn trying to escape a tackler. He cannot. Down he goes. As that was Chris Balster, the sophomore safety, with a nice open field play.
Got to make that kind of play on that back, because if you don't, he is running for days.
3rd and 10 now. Gustafson changing it up. 2 receivers to each side.
Watch for a run in the middle, maybe.
Looking to throw it. Blitz coming. He escapes it. And now he's in trouble, and down he goes. Shane Gutlob got to him at the 33, and we are seeing a completely different Jackrabbits defense here in the second half.
You sure are. They're bringing pressure now. Watch 91 Gerard Ploti blows through a TE stunt, gets in untouched, forces the quarterback up into the pocket, and then that's where he meets Bloom and Solik to finish that thing off, or Gottlieb, I mean. And when that happens, that is what you want your defensive front to do. That's just bringing 4 and getting after the quarterback.
You see it, 4th straight 3 and out. South Dakota State has shut down Montana, who scored 24 in the first half. Leiter's punt hits at the 32. Butler will stay away from it and almost hit a Jackrabbit, and it's down at the 22-yard line.
Now that's on Butler right there. You have to yell, Peter, 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 poison, 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 and be screaming to the top of your lungs to keep your guys away from it when short kicks happen like that.
Last drive, South Dakota State finally getting it into the end zone. Christian playing with some confidence.
Yeah, it starts with the one right there. Paris getting a nice big sweep run around the outside, getting that bonus yardage, and then get to the line quick. And you can see Paris again on the other side, getting the first down on that tough 4th down play. And then the play to your playmaker. Winicky getting the catch, dragging the feet on the one, and then the quarterback, Christian, doing the rest on his own.
And the freshman gaining confidence as this game wears on near the end of this third quarter from the 22-yard line. Christian looking deep downfield, and it's incomplete as he was looking for Dallas Goddard, the sophomore tight end.
They kind of had the matchup they wanted, but that's a little bit tough. He's a young quarterback. There's a lot he's learning on. One of the things I think they need to continue to help him out is putting that ball, work on that outside shoulder throw. He did it well down here to lead to the touchdown. But when he just kind of just puts it up there, he needs to be more direct, and his receivers have to be more direct in where they're going to be when he throws the ball.
On 2nd down, keeper, Christian, first down across the 35 and up to the 40. A good fake to Wallace, and then Christian showing his wheels. Derek Crittenden on the tackle.
You're going to see right there, Tyron does a great job of stiff-arming Tyrone Holmes as the pressure's coming. But I like this no huddle. Get up to the ball quick, And I'd like to go with the run if they would.
The up-tempo's been a big story. They have changed their mindset, and it's affected the Montana defense. And there's movement up front. They're going to back him up. There's Cam Jones, the tight end.
Got to know the play count as the offense. There's really no excuse for false starts. And what that hurts is you have an effective drive going. You got a big run, and then you get the penalty. It takes the air right out of it.
That's one of the keys for Coach Stig. You've got to avoid penalties and turnovers. Handle the environment. They have played much better here in the second half. Christian dumps it off. Wallace the catch, and down he goes at the 34-yard line. That was J.R. Nelson shutting down Isaac Wallace.
See, this is where not just having a penalty, but at the point in time in which you have the penalty. When you set yourself back, this is what makes it tough. Now you're looking at 2nd and 15. You got to get some positive yards back. That's not necessarily the way of doing it.
You can see Winicky, he split to the bottom of the screen. He's a top target at 6'4". Christian calling his number. Christian up the middle, and he's across the 46-yard line. They're winning the line of scrimmage. They did not get holes like that in the first half.
No, and the hard part for the Montana defense is when your quarterback is the runner, that's an extra man unaccounted for. So now you can literally put a hat on a hat, and somebody's going to have to get off a block to make a play. And so I think that's a great adjustment they did at halftime. Take advantage of what you can do. You got a young kid that can run. Well, you know what? Let's run. Let's do some things that he's comfortable with.
3rd and 4. And they didn't fool him this time. That was Ryan Johnson that read the quarterback, and he throws Christian to the ground.
Yeah, you can't go back to the well back-to-back on those types of plays. This defense is too smart, too aggressive. Those ends are pinching down hard, and they're going to expect that if you do that on a continual situation.
That was the final play of the 3rd quarter. 1 quarter to go from Missoula, Montana, and a different game on our hands. It was 24-0 Montana at halftime, 24-10 now. 1 quarter to go. We're back, Jackrabbits and the Grizz. We open up the 4th quarter with Montana leading South Dakota State 24-10. John Stiegelmeier, FCS Coach of the Year candidate. His team has responded, made adjustments at halftime. Their offense has played much better. Their defense has been stellar as well. Drive fizzling out here at the end of the 3rd quarter. They have the punt team out there, but they'll try to pin Montana back. Brady Hale standing at his 30. Win back at the 24 Montana. We have a penalty flag.
Do they get him for offsides or false start? False start.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That could have been costly for Montana if that was the encroachment, because that could have gave him the 1st down and kept the drive going.
There's Wynn. Now at the 25-yard line, 4th and 10. Gets the kick away. Wynn at the 20 with the catch, makes a couple men miss, spins out of it. What a run. And he's finally corralled at the 29-yard line. 24-10 Montana with 14:46 to go.
Yeah,
play by Wynn.
Yeah, he catches it, misses 2 guys, makes 2 guys miss, makes 2 more miss and spinning. Just a very dynamic player for his size. And it makes it tough as a defender coming down because they're so small. Sometimes you can't see them around other people.
So the Grizzlies have it at the 30-yard line, scoreless in that 3rd quarter, trying to get back to the success they had in the first half, where Gustafson threw a couple touchdown passes. They're going to throw it here on 1st down, and it's through the hands of Calhoun and incomplete. Boy, as good as they were in the first half, they've been equally bad here in the second half.
And that's because they're a rhythm offense. When you go no huddle and you want to do 90 plays in a game, it's all about tempo and rhythm. When you lose that, sometimes it's hard to get it back. And they were so efficient with it that they started off so slow, it's been hard to come back for them.
Slant pattern. There's a catch for a short gain. Lally on the tackle on Ben Roberts, and it's 3rd and 6 coming up.
And this is crucial. They need a first down. They need something to slow it up. But watch for South Dakota State to come with the A-gap blitz again.
They're going to rush 4. Play action. Gustafson, backside pressure, and he's tackled by Langer. Langer with the sack at the 25-yard line. That is his 5th of the year from the defensive tackle position. And this guy's a special player. All-conference 3-year starter.
You're going to see they're doing another TE stunt. Watch, you get a little stunt in it, but as he does that, he just beats the left guard, Macaulay Todd, just straight up field rush, and in doing so, Gustin had no time. He had no chance.
Another 3 and out for the Jackrabbits defense as Leiter gets an end-over-end punt away. It'll take a fortuitous hop inside the 30 and down at the 26-yard line. South Dakota State's defense has been sensational here in the second half. 24-10 game. Jackrabbits get the football back. A trip to the second round FCS playoffs on the line. (24-10) Montana leads it. They led 24-0 at halftime, but it's been all South Dakota State here in the second half. Negative yardage total offense for the Grizz here through a quarter and a little bit of the fourth quarter. Christian on first down, under duress, will throw on the run, and that was almost intercepted. That was intended for Goddard, and Josh Buss had a beat on it. The redshirt freshman from Boise almost had a pick.
And I bet you the offensive coordinator coaches are screaming, don't throw that ball. As you can see, stretched out. Nothing's there. Use your legs now. At that point, that's when he should use his legs. Whenever you're trying to throw across your body, somebody comes across the field, you got to watch what that ball goes.
Look at the yards by half, Jay. It has been a tale of 2 halves. South Dakota State trying to keep the momentum going. Slant, caught. Winicky, first down up to the 40-yard line. And Winicky's a guy you think you'd want to look for more often. Gamboa on the tackle.
And I think as this game's progressing, he's getting more and more involved. Look for the quick no-huddle help play. I'd set up a run. But look, as you watch Montana, they look like they're going to come with pressure. And it makes them adjust the play. You need to see where the pressure's coming from.
And they're going to bring a blitz. Play action, Christian. Winicky again, same play. And he's down to the Grizz 43-yard line. A flag's on the field, though.
It looks like they're going to call push-off, maybe on the offense.
Ineligible down the field, offense number 72.
That's Taylor Bloom, the right guard.
He must have been chasing that linebacker. You can see he fires out. At that point, you can't do that when the ball's thrown. He has to know better than that. There's no reason for him to be down there. But this, again, is what Coach Stingelmeyer talks about. Can't have penalties at the wrong time. That's another penalty on the drive that hurt them on first down, just like the last one.
Races a big catch from Winicky. Now it's 1st and 15. They rush 4. Christian, far sideline, incomplete. Well over the head of the intended receiver, Brandon Andrews. Nate Harris was right with him.
Right now, if I'm Montana, I got to dial up a little bit more pressure. I see that they have a hard time blocking it when we do it. I got him in this long situation. I want to force him to run. I want to put him in a situation where I know we can corral him and not let him sit back there and try to pick us apart.
He calls his number. Quarterback keeper across the 45 and cut down right there by Nate Harris. And sometimes that's been their best offense. Number 1 running the football.
You know, every time I see this, it makes me think of that Auburn team with Cam Newton. Oh, wait a minute. He does that with Carolina as well, too. When you have a big quarterback that can run, you start to develop plays that are just for that. And that has been their success in the second half. When we pointed out those stats, a lot of that has come to him using his legs.
Puts him in a third and manageable 3rd and 5 from the 45. Christian over the middle and incomplete. There's the penalty flag. It was thrown in the vicinity of Dallas Goedert. Eric Johnson grabbing it.
Eric Johnson was beat off the bat, and when you have a big tight end, you can't put your hands all on him like that. And when they did that, and he tried to reach over.
Defense number 18. Penalty accepted. Automatic first down.
And so when you try to reach over like he tried to do, they're going to call that. Watch, see where the right arm is? The right arm is on his shoulder pads, and then you also turn him. They're going to call that every time. And it's one of those situations that as a DB, you're faster than the tight end. You have to learn to slow your speed down to adjust. And he just got overexcited on the play.
Christian, not a great completion percentage, but he's been effective here in the second half, and he's been effective running the ball. We expected that. Now some movement up front again. They're going to back up the Jackrabbits.
60, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Bryce Seiberling, the right tackle from Bloomer, Wisconsin.
Again, another costly penalty on first down. I mean, they are just shooting themselves in the foot. When they get a positive play, they back it up with a negative play. And this is something where they got to help the quarterback. You can see right there. They have less penalties and penalty yardage, but it's at the point in time that the penalties happen is where it hurts you.
Puts them another 1st and 15 situation. They're at the Montana 45. Play fake. Christian downfield for Wesley. He had to come back to the ball and couldn't hang on.
That is a tough throw. He has the arm strength to get it out there. But Gamboa did a nice job of getting underneath that and forcing that ball to be perfect. As you watch from the corner route position, quarterback gets hit as he releases the ball. But Gamboa just enough underneath to make it a tough catch for the receiver.
Grizz blitzing, slant, and that's incomplete. That might have been deflected. It was intended for Winicky behind him, and now it's 3rd and 15.
Yeah, it was tipped at the line. Looks like Jamal Wilson might have got his hand on it. But that's one play I would have liked to see him pump fake a little bit. The defenders understand they're not getting there like they were earlier. So you're taught if you can't get there, get your hands up.
All right, this is a situation you got to look for number 19. He's the mismatch. He's the star, Jake Winicky.
You got to go to Winicky or Goddard. But what you do is you got to get half of the yardage. I don't think you try to get it all right now. Get half.
Under pressure, Christian nowhere to go with it. Down he goes at the 47, and Holmes may get credit for the sack there. He did slide down, but that would be his 3rd of the game.
And Holmes coming there, flipping him from side to side, giving the tackles. Now watch him, he's coming from the left side of the screen. The left tackle has no chance, beats him immediately up the field, but the young freshman quarterback's not sure where to go because the offensive line is kind of scattered around. Does a good job, pins him back. Defense getting a stop when they needed to.
Still 11 minutes to go. John Wynn awaiting the punt at the 12-yard line for Montana. Hale, it's a low liner away. Wynn at the 17 with a catch, and down he goes. And we have a couple penalty flags coming in after the tackle. Getting down there was Chris Balster.
It's interesting when you got two of them throwing it, the chances are they saw the same thing or differently. It looks like it might be holding on Montana, which will help this defense out, make it a little bit more difficult for the offense of Montana that's been struggling.
Well, it has been a completely different look here in the second half. It looked like Montana was going to run away and hide, leading 24-0 at halftime. South Dakota State has really dominated here. They only have 10 points to show for it, though, in the second half.
Right, and I think it's because the front on both sides of the ball.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 8. That penalty declined. Blocking the back, number 4. That penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So they will back him up, and it was Rasmussen and Parker, the guilty party. 10:47 to go. Grizz have the football back, trying to get their offense jump-started, leading by 14. You're watching the 2015 NCAA Division I Football Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. 24-10, Montana. Brady Gustafson, stellar in the first half, has struggled in the second half. They have -7 rushing yards to go with those 22 passing yards. They've been stymied here by South Dakota State's defense. Gustafson to the air, and that will help things as he completes a big one to Ben Roberts all the way to the Jackrabbits' 32-yard line. They finally break through with the big play. Gustafson to Roberts, Butler on the tackle.
That is getting behind Butler. They just straight out bomb route. Butler was not paying attention, was looking into the backfield and gets beat on a streak route. Great first play.
And now a quick snap from the 31-yard line. Win with the carry for a couple to the 29. J.R. Plody on the tackle. You're getting close to scoring range here, and as we near the 10-minute mark, a field goal would be huge for Montana.
It would, and I would keep this tempo going, this pace. Look for them to run up the middle again.
Gustafson's going to go play action to the sideline, and a great catch made over there for a first down. And that was Roberts again. He's having a huge game. Chris Balster on the tackle.
You just don't understand how difficult a catch that is. The way he caught that ball going out of bounds. That's huge. And that keeps this drive going and keeps this pressure on this defense.
Under 10 minutes to go now. First down from the 20.
Here comes the run.
Win to the right, and they will run it as he comes back to the other side of the field. Cuts back and makes something out of the play down to the 19, a yard, and that's about it. That's a long way to run for 1 yard. Plody on the tackle.
It's every time they look in the box and they're able to spread them out, they see one linebacker in, they want to come back to that run quickly. That's why you saw Wynn jump to the other side to run that play.
Gustafson, pocket collapsing, and he had to get rid of the football. And here comes a flag in after the ball was delivered, thrown at the feet of the quarterback.
Holding, offense number 76, 10-yard penalty, second down.
It's David Reese, the right tackle. Well, that's the last thing you want here because you're in field goal range.
That's what that comes down to. You don't want to get backed up. Now, if I'm South Dakota State, I'm dialing up pressure right now and bringing a blitz. Try to force a third and long.
2nd and 19 at the 29. Gustafson slants, and that gets some of the yardage back. And now we have a late flag. Some contact after the play. The catch by Nacarado, tackled by Butler. But David Reese engaged after the play away from where the catch was made.
He hit the defense.
After the play ended, unnecessary roughness, number 75 up in the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, he hit Chase King. Chase King was already on the ground. And then you're going to see Reese, after the play is done, Reese comes in and he hits him while he's on the ground. And the referee is staring right there looking at it. It's like, you have to know you're that far in the backfield, you can't get away with anything.
Yeah, this is Robert Luke instead. Reese 76 was pushing and shoving, but they got Luke, the center. They threw the flag on him, and they got to find out where they're going to spot the football here now. It was at the 29. And now they'll back him up 15 on the personal foul.
You got to think how this drive started. We talked about South Dakota State penalties hurting them as they were trying to get stuff going. Montana's been struggling. They get on fire, they get downfield, and now they shoot themselves in the foot with 2 costly 15-yard penalties.
Now it's 3rd and 34, but if you're Montana, you'd like to at least get into field goal range here. They're going to play it safe and run it with Wynn. That won't get it done. He's shut down by Chase Kern, the sophomore end. Fans don't like the call, but really the penalties put them in a really tough spot.
They did, and the players have to be smarter. You have to know. You need to be disciplined. You need to look at the scoreboard and the time. You don't do these types of things in the fourth quarter, especially when you were in stagnant the whole half and you finally got something going.
So it remains a 2-score game with under 9 minutes to go. Still very much in reach for South Dakota State. And they force the punt from Chris Leiter. Butler at the 9-yard line awaiting it. They'll use all of that clock here, and he gets the kick away. Butler running away from it. It'll hit at the 2, and it'll find its way into the end zone. So South Dakota State will have the football at the 20-yard line. 8:16 to go. A 2-touchdown game from Missoula. FCS first-round play. Montana trying to hold on here. They led 24-0 at halftime. They've been outscored, shut out here in the second half. 8:16 to go. Jackrabbits have the football at the 20-yard line after the punt with momentum on their side. Trying to draw within a score. Christian on first down. Heaves it for Winicky. Makes the catch at the 40, and he's dragged down at the 36-yard line. There is a candidate for FCS Offensive Player of the Year. You can see why. J.R. Nelson on the tackle.
You can see Winicky's lined up a man-to-man on the bottom of the right side of the screen. Now watch, he gives his quarterback all that space from the numbers to the sideline, and then you can see why he's All-American and up for every award. He goes up, he gets the ball, he tracks it well when it's in the air. I like this pace. They got to go no huddle. They need to score quickly.
First down at the 36-yard line. They'll hand it off to Paris, trying to get to the edge. Paris hit hard by Whitted, and he's dropped at the 33-yard line. 3-yard pickup.
I get to the line. I keep going. I feel you need to score, leave about 6 minutes on the clock, see if your defense can come out and continue to do what they're doing, try to tie this game up. If I'm Montana right now, I'm on my heels because I'm worried about this running quarterback. I got to tell my corners, just like last time, you're on your own. We're going to put 8-9 men in the box to try to make sure he doesn't run.
You can see the total yards in the second half. Hand off to Paris, and he is shut down right at the point of attack. Caleb Kidder, the tackle, is in there. Nate Harris is shaken up after he made contact.
That's the third time they brought Nate Harris in from the nickel or short side of the field to come in and crash in on that play. This offensive line in front, they have to see it. They have to get it figured out.
And he sits down. He was wobbly and could not get off the field. They'll take a look at Nate Harris here. We are in first-round play, FCS Championship, the road to Frisco, Texas. The winner will get the 4-time defending FCS champs, North Dakota State and Fargo next weekend. Portland State, a great season. They're awaiting the winner of Eastern Illinois and Northern Iowa. Western Illinois has advanced already.
And that's what's huge about these conferences. We talk about these power conferences and how well they play. The competitive level, so they're going to be going against. They know each other. That's going to be a really good match. Let's see how they can get this third down conversion.
3rd and 8 inside the 35. Christian flushed out of the pocket again, throws on the run downfield and incomplete. Closest to the football was Brandon Andrews, and that was thrown out of bounds. Yaman Sanders was over there with him. It's 4th down. You've got to go for it here. You need touchdowns, not field goal.
Not only do you go for it, my offensive formation, if I'm South Dakota State, I'm going no backs. I'm spreading everybody out. I'm making that defense tell me if they're playing man or zone. If the throw isn't there immediately, try to fan them out and try to run up the middle. If I'm Montana, I got to bring the pressure. I got to make the freshman prove himself.
They're showing blitz. Here they come. Christian rolling right. Throws off his back foot for Winicky. It's knocked away at the last minute. Whitted was over there. He got help from Harris. Harris made the play. It looked like Winicky was going to come down with the catch.
Winicky needed to reach his hands up to catch that ball. He was trying to catch it and tiptoe in along the sideline. But watch this. Hands need to go up. He's waiting for it to come to him instead of sticking his hands
defense
up.
Number 2.
Oh, but they get bailed out.
4th down.
Offsides, he'll get to play 4th down again.
Oh my goodness, when you say the number 2, that's a DB on the outside. You got the referee right next to you. You look to him and you ask, am I off? It's really simple. You should never get an offsides penalty as an outside corner.
Well, they thought they had him stopped, and a penalty has kept this drive alive for the time being. 4th and 3. They need to get the football to the 26-yard line.
Look down at the bottom. You got Winicky and the tight end.
Christian, the slant. There's Winicky. He's got it, and the drive continues. He's down to the 21. Nelson on the tackle.
Now this is where we talk about the penalties are hurting Montana now. They're getting them at the wrong time. It hurt them on that offensive drive. Defense played well, had an opportunity to get off the field, and now the drive continues.
Harris behind Christian, the quarterback, just outside the red zone. Remember, they have all 3 timeouts left, but they've got to score a touchdown on this drive. Fakes it to Paris. Christian in some trouble. Now he's just going to try to get away, and he can't, and down he goes. Caleb Kidder, the sack at the 34.
That's a play that Montana needed. They dialed up some pressure. South Dakota State's had a hard time picking it up. You're going to see, here comes the pressure. And because of that, nobody picks up. There's 4 defenders. There's nowhere for him to go. I would like to see him throw that ball away. He had receivers over in the area. Could have did that, but now they get set way back.
First team all Big Sky tackle got to him, and now it's 2nd and 24. Christian will dump it off. Paris the catch. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Markel Sanders got to him first.
Markel Sanders with the stop.
Clock stops, 5:17 to go.
This is a crucial 3rd down. Again, if you're South Dakota State, you're not trying to get all the 19 yards. You'd like to get half of it, or at least make it worse. 4th and 5. Give yourself something workable that you can do. If you're Montana, show the pressure, but you got to drop back. You can't allow some play to get behind you.
Winicky split bottom of the screen. He's been the main target. Christian looking his way. Fires it underneath, incomplete. There's another dropped pass, and that's Winicky, of all people. Could not hang on. It was low.
And it was low. Not only was it low, but Winicky was trying to run with it before he secured the catch. Number 1 rule, catch it first, then run. You want to make a play, you got to be smart about it.
All right, 4th and 19. You've got to at least give number 19 a chance here, don't you? You need to get it to the 11.
That, and I'll take my tight ends up the seam. Make that safety have to stay in the hole.
Blitz is coming. Christian over the middle for the tight end. He's got it. Touchdown. Dallas Goddard, and what a huge play for the Jackrabbits.
What a play. That's how you dial it up. You want to do the seam routes, keep the tight end up the middle, force that safety not to come over, and you're going to see McKinley trying to cover him, doesn't have a good job, cuts underneath. Number 1 rule is a DB on a deep throw. You only go underneath if you're going to make the interception. Otherwise, you stay upfield shoulder. He didn't do that. The score that they needed to get themselves within 7.
They convert 2 huge 4th downs. Carlson's extra point makes it 24-17. Dallas Goddard, the 6'5 sophomore from Britain, South Dakota, and Christian put it there on the money on a 4th and 19.
What a throw by the young freshman. Christian getting the ball up there. Goddard doing the rest, getting this team within 7, seeing if they can do the great comeback in the second half.
4:44 to go. Grizz lead by a touchdown. Bob Stitt and John Stiglmeyer locked up in a beauty now. 4:44 to go. Grizz led 24-0 at halftime. South Dakota State has dominated the second half, and now they're within 1 score after a Christian to Goddard 30-yard touchdown pass, capping off an 80-yard drive. The kickoff will be returned by Henderson for Montana. Leapfrogs a man and goes down at the 21-yard line.
Yard return,
Montana has been absolutely stymied in the second half, with the exception of 1 big pass play. They have not been able to find the success they had in the first half.
At all, and credit to South Dakota State's defense for the way that they've come out and played this second half, but they also hurt themselves that last drive with those 2 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalties that pretty much set them out of field goal range and everything else.
4:40 to go. Each team has their full complement of 3 timeouts. Gustafson, slant pattern, and it's caught by Roberts. and he's up to the 29-yard line. Roberts has been one of the silver linings for this team in the second half and throughout the game. Butler on the tackle.
He has, and I'd like to see him get up to the line, kind of make them think you're going to go that faster pace. We know they're going to eat up clock. Look for Wynn to get the run up the middle again, try to see if they get the conversion on the first down. But they're going to eat some clock, and South Dakota State's going to have to do a much better job on that first down play. They're going to have to make sure they get a stop for no gain to help themselves out on first down.
And this may be the first non-up-tempo snap of the game for Montana as they work that clock. Under 4 minutes to go, second down and 1. They will run it with Wynn, and he picks up the first down to the 32-yard line.
Wynn, a gain of 3, good for another.
And we are going to see a different pace now. You got to think from the Grizzlies, though they do hurry up to the line of scrimmage.
They do, but they're not going to snap the ball quick. At some point, South Dakota's going to have to start to use some timeouts to slow this down, to give their team a shot. That's what kind of hurt them with what happened that last series. They got the score, but it took them a lot longer than they needed to. They needed to score within like 2 minutes to give themselves the window that they needed.
Gustafson, a big first half, couple touchdown passes. Not the case in the second half, but his team's in front. Trying to work a little bit of clock here now from the 31. Play action, throws it, caught by Jones up to the 41-yard line.
That's complete to Will Jones.
And every time they do that, that's to Montana's advantage. They keep the clock going. Now you put them again in second and short. Look for them to eat more clock and run the ball. And this is kind of what Coach Stitt talked about, the fact that that's why they like to play from the lead. Certain things may happen, but when you have the lead, it makes it tough for teams to have to try to come back on.
Using all of that play clock, as you can see, the red there in the box, under 3 minutes to go, second down and a yard from the 41-yard line. It's not been easy for Coach Stitt and the Grizz here in the second half, but they had that 24-point cushion to work with. They run it for another first down with Wynn, and he's up to the 48-yard line. TJ Lally on the tackle, and now South Dakota State desperately needs a stop, and they're going to use a timeout, their first of 3.
Well, you got to think about what they did that got them back to this point with the pressure, the TE stunts, the blitz and the A-gaps. Montana, to their success, when they've thrown on first down, then it's been easier to run. They didn't do that at all up until this final drive. They finally went back to what was working for them. South Dakota State has to come up there and dial pressure. They got to tell their corners, you're one-on-one, we're leaving you out there all by yourselves, and they have to bring pressure. That's all you can do at this point, because you know Montana's content on running the clock, because where they got you now, they're content on running the ball, punting, forcing you to have to go 80 for a touchdown.
Let's take a look at the other half of the bracket. Winner here gets North Dakota State, but the other half showing Jacksonville State gets Chattanooga in a second-round matchup. The Citadel, the big surprise today over Coastal Carolina. And how about Southern Utah, the Big Sky champs, on the road leading in the fourth quarter at Sam Houston State?
I think they remember what happened last year, and they just want to kind of rewrite history.
Gustafson will hand it off on first down to Wynn. He breaks a tackle, and Wynn up to the 45-yard line. 8 yards on first down. Dallas Brown on the tackle. And say what you want in the second half, Montana has delivered on this drive.
Yeah, and it's all about doing it when you have to. And right now, they're doing it when they have to. They've struggled this whole second half. But if they're able to continue this on, this is when it counts. This is when you want to run the ball, is when you need to bleed the clock and hold on to a win.
And the Jackrabbits opt not to use their second timeout here at 2nd and 2 at the 45-yard line. Another first down just might do it here.
I need to see, I don't see blitz coming. There should be a blitz coming right now.
They don't dial up the pressure. They'll run it with Wynn, and he's close to the first down. It looks like he has it inside the 43, and now the Jackrabbits in a lot of trouble.
They definitely are. You can see with this offense going the fast pace, now they're going to slow.
And South Dakota State will use their second timeout with 1:40 to go.
And that's what makes it tough. So now the odds are not in their favor. They need a situation kind of like what happened in Montana a couple weeks back with the missed field goal, that type of thing going over the head, something like that to happen for them.
We talked about North Dakota State, the 4-time defending FCS champs, awaiting the winner. It'll be a rematch regardless of who comes out of this one with a victory. Montana won the regular season opener against North Dakota State here. South Dakota State lost 28-7. And that's going to be an intriguing matchup there in Fargo.
Well, you got to think about that. If Montana holds on to win, they beat them here, so they'd love to get them at home, where South Dakota State actually lost at home to North Dakota State.
1:40 to go, just one timeout remaining now for South Dakota State, and you got to think that Montana will play close to the vest here and keep it conservative. They'll run it with Wynn. He has a big hole and another first down. And he has put the finishing touches on the victory here down to the 28-yard line. Lally on the tackle. And Montana, when they needed it, got it done here in the late stages, fourth quarter.
It sure did, and you know the run was coming, but look at this offensive line sealing up, making a nice big cut seam. And when you have a small running back like Wynn and those big boys stand up, the linebackers are easy to lose them. And when he bosses out, big gain, first down, that's what you want out of your running back.
Well, 2015's been a roller coaster season for Montana football. It started with their season opener against the 4-time defending FCS champ North Dakota State. Back and forth game, the Grizz and the Bison. It was tied at 28 midway through the third. Brady Gustafson hitting Ellis Henderson for a 62-yard touchdown strike. But then, early in the fourth quarter, the Bison taking the lead. King Frazier from 7 yards out for the score. Montana managed a field goal late in the fourth quarter then with 99 seconds left. 16 plays, 80 yards. Joey Counts to the end zone. 38-35 the final, and it looks like they have a date with North Dakota State coming up in Fargo. And it was a battle here in the second half, but Bob Stitt seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
He definitely sees the light at the end of the tunnel. They didn't do everything the way that they would like to do, but this team has shown resilience to jump out the way they did. Just like he said, we like to play from the lead. To struggle as much as they did, they got a glimpse before this drive where they had the opportunity. Penalties hurt themselves. Penalties allowed that score. But somehow, some way, they found a way to get the win. And that's what's important. Because at this time of the year, everybody's 0-0. So that win they had over North Dakota State don't matter. This is a new season.
Who cares about style points, right? They had great style in the first half. Gustafson a couple touchdown passes, Calhoun a touchdown run. And their defense did just enough in the second half to slow down South Dakota State, and a hard-earned victory. It's going to be win number 8 for Montana, and they get a rematch with the Bison.
They get a rematch. They're going to go to Fargo, North Dakota. They're going to play them on their field. And this team, if they can play like they played the first half for 4 quarters, I can easily see them getting out of Fargo with the win against the defending champions.
And how about Bob Stitt, his first season at the FCS level, great success at Division II, Rocky Mountain Athletic Coach of the Year at Colorado School of the Mines. He seems like a perfect fit. He understands the tradition revolving around this program.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing they got going for them. They were kind of the cowbell of the FCS and winning championships and doing that thing. North Dakota State is the big-time newcomer that's come on and won the last 4. They would love to go back to the old school on this.
All right, we have officially advanced Montana now into the second round. A date with the Bison in Fargo. What a game that'll be. We'll be with you on that one on ESPN3. Looking forward to it. Portland State, another Big Sky team, is battling in the second round as well. Other half of the bracket, number 1 overall seed Jacksonville State. The big surprise is the Citadel advancing with a victory there, and some good football throughout the day on the ESPN networks. So a beauty here in Missoula, 24-17 Montana, a victor over South Dakota State. For an archive copy of this entire game, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on, watchespn.com, download the Watch ESPN app. For Jay Taylor, our entire crew, I'm Trey Bender saying so long from Missoula. Thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN.